Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are out there in the big wide world. It is Saturday, July 11th. I am the DJ Atomica, your host, and today we are going to be finally continuing with a Song of Sunlight after a long and unexpected hiatus of 2 weeks. The good news is, everything seems to be shipshape now. My internet is working, fingers crossed, knock on wood. If I had salt, I'd throw it over my shoulder. Pray to whatever gods you believe in that this will continue to function. I think it should. It's been solid all week, but boy, was it not solid last Saturday. I had done the actual move to my new place on Friday, but the internet was not cooperating with us. And so I was not able to stream last week, so I was forced to double the length of my hiatus, which is deeply unfortunate. But we eventually got the internet working. It turns out the problem was that the cable just wasn't connected on the outside of the house. So you can't get internet when the cable's disconnected. Thankfully, the cable is now connected. The internet is coming through, and we are able to stream once again. So it may have been some time for you. It certainly has been for me. But we are playing A Song of Sunlight, a delightfully well-crafted indie RPG Souls-like game set in a village, a settlement on the surface, and we play as Aram, who has discovered a abandoned, or seemingly abandoned, megastructure beneath the earth, underneath the island settlement. This is interesting for a number of reasons. Number one, it's an underground megastructure, and that's always kind of inherently interesting, especially when you're not expecting it. But also because in the megastructure, in the ruins, we have discovered evidence of prior human habitation. People used to live here. Keyword, used to. They abandoned these halls because of famine, which is relevant to us because our society on the surface is also currently going through famine, and it's not looking good. Unrest, civil unrest is starting to happen. Relationships are starting to be strained. But the same record that told of human habitation and them having abandoned this place for famine also told that they went to seek a better land, a land where they would not have to be in famine anymore. And so we, Aram, have taken it upon ourselves to figure out where exactly these people went and how we could get everybody else there as well. Now, I should say that these caverns are not completely abandoned. The remnants of the machines that once served the humans who lived here are still roaming about, some of which are hostile, some of which are not. They're just sort of mischievous and intriguing, some of which are very hostile. And that's precisely what we most recently encountered. If my memory serves, it, again, has been 2 weeks. When last we left off, Aram had encountered essentially a checkpoint robot, somebody who scans DNA purity and accepts or rejects people into certain locations based on that. We were apparently not genetically pure, and so it not only rejected us, it sent a swarm of hunter machines after us, and we barely escaped with our lives. Now, slowly but surely, we're starting to chip away at the mystery surrounding what exactly this place is. We know that humans once lived here. We know that it was a technological civilization. And there are rumors from one of the friendlier conversive machines that there are still humans living somewhere in the deeper levels of this place. It goes down much further than we ever thought. We tried to descend further, and that's exactly when the checkpoint robot met us, I will say kindly. We were not accepted. We were almost killed. And it seems as though the strata of this subterranean structure were not just geographically stratified, but also socially and genetically stratified. There appears to be a sort of or there appears to have been in the past a sort of eugenic hierarchy in this location. Only people of certain genetic purity were allowed to live in certain sections of the structure. We call the structure the Well. I'm not sure what the original inhabitants called it. But on the surface, we call it the Well. And also, the surface dwellers have no knowledge of the technology that exists down here in the Well. It's all much more advanced down here, robots and such. We do, however, possess a power called Archimancy, which is a magical power that allows us to conjure into existence materials for building or crafting, basically anything we need. We, Aram, the main character, are actually kind of perfectly shit at Archimancy. Okay, it appears we had a small network drop. That's unfortunate. It appears to be over now. I'm wondering how consistent that's going to be. Well, we'll have to deal with it. In any case, that basically gets us up to where we were last time. So, without further ado, let's begin where we left off. Now, I am going to have to reacquaint myself with the mission screen because, again, you'll have to forgive me, it's been 2 weeks since I played this. But, the state of affairs out here in the village is dire. The famine is slowly taking hold, and people are starting to realize kind of how precarious this all is right now. Right, I believe that I would have finished all the side quests to do, and we're just supposed to report for duty, going back down into the well. It looks much more red on my screen than it does on yours. That's fascinating. I wonder... did I ever actually go through and properly, like, color calibrate this screen? Probably not. I should do that eventually. Thankfully, it looks proper on OBS. Unless... oh, I didn't even think... maybe the OBS source is altered in some way. Do I have a filter on this? I do have a filter on this. Okay, well, that's what I'm seeing. I didn't even realize. How long has that been there? Oh, God. Alright, let's see. Do you have anything to say? You're looking better. Have you fully recovered yet? I don't think you ever told me what it was. It was my stomach. And it's pretty much completely gone away by now. Sorry to worry you. Yeah, it's also worth noting, we are keeping our subterranean endeavors very close to the chest. We don't want anyone else to figure out that we're going down into the well, because in our culture, to descend into the well is to become dead, and the culture treats you as dead. It's a great taboo. My current headcanon, my personal theory is that the people living up here in the settlement are the descendants of the people who left the well, and that this was supposed to be the land where things were better without famine, which would put us in a very precarious situation. Next time you're sick like that, just tell us, okay? You put us all in danger. What if an ancestor had attacked when there were only 3 of us? Sorry. I was being careless. Yeah, they never have much to say. Oh, I feel a cutscene. Here. Take it back. It's done. Tala shrugged my menage off his shoulders and held it up to me. I looked at it closely, noticing how carefully he'd stitched the tears. Yeah, no, we had very noticeable evidence on our body and clothes when we exited the well last time. It was undeniable to Tala, the only other person who knows we've been going down there, that we had actually encountered dangerous beings down below. We had to switch menages so that nobody would notice that we were actually gravely injured. I looked at it closely, noticing how carefully he'd stitched the tears. Unless he were staring at it like I was, the signs that it had once nearly been in pieces were almost invisible. I knew he'd been fixing it, but it was exceptional work. This is... I began, surprised. It's perfect. How did you... Tala shrugged. I was able to make a needle and thread that night, like you said. I know some sewing from my mom. I did some of it after you ran off, enough to hold it together at least. And I turned it inside out when I put it on so they wouldn't see the blood. I nodded, somewhat amazed at how willing Tala now was to cover for me. I remember being scolded by High Woundbearer Nihal the morning after my injury. I figured the other sentries would tell the armory about my unexplained absence eventually. And while Nihal reprimanded me for abandoning my post, he'd heard from others that I had been sick and let me off with a warning. We're so bad at covering this up that, like, someone's eventually going to figure it out. Tala already knows. One of our friends is surely going to figure it out at some point. I suspect Sachita. We already know that, Prava? Oh god, it's been 2 weeks. Forgive me if I'm getting the names wrong. I think Prava knows already because she found us, healed us up, and now is kind of blackmailing us to get Kanari to take better care of himself. It's turning into a somewhat twisted system of leverage, but it hasn't blown up in our faces yet. Yet. I'd suspected it at the time, but now seeing my carefully sewn Minash, it was clear that lie had been Tala's as well. Quickly, I took his Minash off and offered it up. His was a lighter shade than my own, so to be extra careful, I'd been rubbing it in the dirt frequently in an attempt to hide it. As I passed it over, I muttered an apology that it was so filthy. Sorry. He shook his head. Something like this, it won't happen again, okay? I'm planning on getting better at archimancy, really practicing. It'll be helpful on my mission, fixing my clothes if they tear and my sandals if they break. Your mission. That's what you're calling it now. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Nothing, Aram. Tell me. Just how far along is this mission of yours? Now you want the details. You thought I was making everything up, remember? I never said I didn't believe you. I said I didn't understand it. You were saying all sorts of strange things. People who lived in the well. Finding a way to end the famine. Yeah. That's right. More or less. So, did you find a way? I'm working on it. Working on it. What are you working on exactly? I'm gathering information. Okay. Let's hear it then. Oh, are we actually, like, fully telling him everything? I mean, why not at this point? Like, there's no... Like, he knows that we were lying about all the lies that we were lying. We might as well just tell him. His interrogation was beginning to irritate me. I've learned plenty, haven't I? I tried to get everything straight in my head. The well. I began by describing it. Towering buildings. Empty rooms. Thousands of doors and windows. Yeah, it is very cool design. I really like the environments that they've come up with in this game. Staircases that seem to stretch for miles. People lived there. Different than me, whatever that meant. They'd left behind their words. Many of them had died. They'd gone somewhere. It was a place without hunger, a better world. Yes, a better world. How did they get there? That was the question. An elevator? It carried people, lots of them, far away. Okay. Yes, it was a lead. It was something, at least. What else? Ancestors. I knew that Tala knew already, but I suppose I was finally coming clean about that piece of it. They were everywhere down there. All shapes and sizes. Some of them could speak. Some of them were friendly. Most of them weren't. Some of them were like guards. Some of them were like soldiers. My ramblings slowly died out as I heard myself for the first time. What? What have I really learned so far? What have I... I mean, you've learned that that any of this is down there. You've learned that there were people here. You've learned that they had advanced technology and that this well, whatever it is not what you thought it was. You are learning things. You're just perhaps not learning the particular thing that you most want to learn, which is where everyone went to escape famine. Because I suspect the tragic twist of the story is going to be that we already know. It's a lot. You're not making much sense. No, it does make sense. It does. I don't see the full picture yet. You've been at this for weeks. Shut up. You don't think I'm not trying? It's all I think about, Tala. All day long. I unpack what I've seen and I piece it together. Aram, you sound obsessed. This can't be healthy. He's probably right about that. We're definitely obsessed because during the festival, before the famine hit in full force, we're essentially on a date with our crush, and every time we had a nice moment, our mind just kept coming back here to the well. So I definitely think we're obsessed. Will we be able to snap out of it, though? I stood up. I've had enough of this, I said, turning to leave. If you're still not on my side, then you don't need to know the details. Tala called my name. Hold on, he said. Let me ask you this. Whatever gave you that wound? I glanced self-consciously at my chest. Will it be there, waiting for you tonight? I was about to give a curt reply when I realized that my heart was pounding. The thought had been creeping up on me as we'd been speaking. I knew he was probably right. That terminal authority. It must be waiting for me. I don't know, I said, taking the first step down the staircase. But if it is, this time I'm ready. This time I'll kill it. Oh, are we just gonna straight up try to kill the bouncer? I'm sure that will have no negative repercussions whatsoever. I found myself in that place once again. All right, I do appreciate that the game is just like teleporting us where we need to go. We don't need to wind our way through the structure of the well every time. I found myself in that place once again. That place I'd nearly lost everything. The first thing I realized was that it was quiet. Dead silent, as it had been before. The sound of metal fingers scraping against stone, chasing me through the halls. It was gone. All right. Do we have any... Oh, wait, there's one thing I need to do, which is story mode on. I will not make that mistake again. Let's do some leveling up. Never mind. Oh, no, we do have 1,000 memory iron. Can we go... health, stamina, attack or defense? What are we feeling like? I'm already boosted in attack. I feel like stamina is where I'm... Oh my god, that's... I can't, actually. Let us save. I feel like I'm always running out of stamina when I least want to. So I'm probably going to be speccing into stamina most frequently. Alright, both of those stairs are out. What's the plan here, Aram? What are we doing? Are we just hoping to chop its head off before it can send a signal? This is it. There's no other way down from here. I'll have to pass back through. I tensed and gripped my weapon and shield tightly. How many ancestors will I have to destroy to get through? Well, I guess we're about to find out. We could just... Huh. Alright, I was expecting a fight. I think Aram was too. The Terminal Authority. It was... lifeless. Its body hung limp. As I came close, it made no movements whatsoever. And moreover, the door behind it was now open. What? What happened? Oh, somebody got sniped. Thank you, Automod. There had been dozens of them that night, chasing me down. Where'd they gone? Why? Why is it dead? This is probably not a good sign, I must say. Ah, there you are. Ha 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 ha. Ban. Delete. Okay. Somebody is advertising AI viewers. I don't want AI viewers. I want the flesh and blood viewers of this chat right here. That's all I need. Lots of pausing. Nothing to do now but press on. You know, this is very actually frightening, unsettling. This thing had immense power at its control when last we met. The fact that it is now dead and the door that it guarded open, this leaves two possibilities. Either it just died naturally or through lack of power, and the door that it was guarding opened when it dies, which seems like a weird way to design your security system, or something killed it and got through the door. There may yet be scarier beasts down here. I remembered what it had said. There is a single elevator located several dozen strata below this one. That's all I have, so I'll go. Several dozen strata. That can mean a lot of different things. How many strata deep are we? Okay, we're in the high strata. Oh god, the fuck? Oh, it's electrical. Alright. What do I have? I've got my... my oxidized iron greatsword, which is... Well, we just saved. We can try something. Oops, okay. I am still getting used to the controls, because it has been too long. Damn. Oh, yeah, okay. We're not doing so bad. It's heavier and slower combat. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Whoops, like that. defend. Recover my stamina. Alright. Now, we attack. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I was expecting that one to be a lot more intimidating. What do we have? Burn cream. Hell yeah. Do I have any burns? I don't think I have any burns. This is the only way to go. Okay, so does this count as one strata, or does this entire chasm count as one strata? Because I could see it go both ways. Ancestor appendage. If this entire chasm is one strata, we've got a long way to go. Several dozen of these chambers? Yeah, no, I don't think we're doing that in one night. Pick up a wetting stone. Whoa, hello. Hi. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Alright. Bam, okay, you guys are armored. Fairly easy patterns. Okay, not terrible. Bam. 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 I appreciate that you give us a lot of time with that one. Alright, let's finish you off. Alright. Who wants some? Bam. Bam. And back block. All's good. Alright, I need to heal up. Not heal, stamina up. Rest, I think, is the word that I'm looking for. Over. Oh, got a guard. And ba-bam. We can do this. Alright. I think we've got a handle on things here. Broken data card? Hold on. That's entirely new. Broken data card. A small, flat, metallic rectangle. You've no idea what it's for, other than that it seems broken. Alright, I guess it can be recovered for memory iron. That feels more important, though. A data card. How many of those would we even come across? I think that's our first one. See, I want to go and make sure I'm not getting too far afield of where I had been exploring. This takes me over here. Oh, hi. There's two of you. I really need to be more careful when I enter rooms. And a big swipe. Bam. 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 What? You didn't give me a chance to dodge that? That was cheap. You're backing me out. Alright, I need to go that way. Yeah, no, you're gonna get locked out. Bam. Bam, I'm gonna get pushed out. I need to keep going this way. You are... Okay. I am once again going to come here and start fighting you. Oops, I missed. And we go there. And there. And once again, I am pushing my enemy out of the combat zone, which is unfortunate. These small rooms do tend to force me into corners like this. I'm actually going to come over here and make you come this way. Bam. Bam. Should be close to breaking your armor. There we go. I am once again going to force everyone to come back over this way. Ooh, okay, you got me on that one. Alright. Among other things, I think I'm getting better at controlling where my enemies are positioned in the battlefield. Ancestor frame, that's gotta be huge. Ancestor frame, 600 memory iron. Hoyo boyo. Yeah, this just takes me up there. Oh, man. I can go down. I cannot... I guess this is the only other way that I have. This looks like a lower strata. Oh, come on, I got that. Oh, you're a wild one, eh? Whoop. 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 I would have been upset if they didn't let me dodge that. Alright, we're going this way. Ba-bam! Ba-bam! Alright, he's all over the place. This guy's got an erratic pattern. Alright, come on. We're wailing on him. We're wailing. Call me Ahab, because I'm wailing. Why are you... Oh, that's interesting. I appear to be occasionally getting just outside of his attack range. And ba-boom. Oh, gonna need to guard again. Wah. Bam. Bam. Ah, okay. Yeah, you got me. I'm getting too close to the edge. Wow, I am... Again, I'm finding myself feeling sort of blind down here because I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. Burn cream. Can't go further that way. We are just sort of poking around here. I suppose I could go this way. Is there anything more that way? No. Any other ways down that I can see? This appears to be the central spire of this section. No, it doesn't look like that. I can see on the map in the upper right corner that we're in this big tall room in the middle. Or we're close to it. This is the big tall room. This is where we need to be going. I can't descend further that way. What are you? These just leave us back out here. What about some of the prior sections? No, that's the terminal. High strata. Okay. Going down brings us to this level. closest thing to progress appears to be this direction, but I see no clear way of traversing that. Unless it's that? No. Well, there's definitely something else over there. Might I need some new technique to cross a gap? A ladder would work. Lots of ladders and shadows of ladders in this here room. Perhaps I need to look more carefully. Is there no— oh, there's another room on this side. That's what I was missing. Yeah, let's not go in there yet. Can I go down this way? I can. Actually, there's a lot of options. Anyone in here? No, but I can enter this. Get you. Yeah, I've fought a couple of these guys before. Let's fight. Let's have a little scrap. I appear to be doing pretty well with the Buster Sword, if I do say so myself. It'd be nice if I could get a non-rusted Buster Sword. Right now I have a Ruster Sword, and that's serving me well enough, but again, would prefer something a bit less rotted. Wow. Alright. Let me at him. Let me at him. You gotta be close. Yeah. Alright. Now I can come over there and start the offensive. Take that. It really doesn't feel like you're doing much damage at the very beginning, but combos appear to stack up a little bit. And when you get them down like this, that's when you really start doing damage. Bam. Bam. Whack. Pow. I'm providing my own Batman sound effects. Oh my god, look at all the stuff. Pick up. Broken data card. Burn cream. Burn cream and broken data card. Alright, so this section appears to have more broken data cards. It's weird that there's an abundance of those considering how low of an amount of memory iron they give you. I wonder why there's so many of them. Descend. Oh, hello. Perfect metal. See, I have to be careful, otherwise I start getting lost. Alright. Let's try the room downstairs first. Ah. Let's start here. Oh, damn, you are relentless. Bam. Ooh, I think I did a perfect block there. That's cool. Bam, bam, bam. Got a lot of hits in there. Okay, we're getting a bit too close to the edge here. Oh, I should have taken that. That would have been good. Yeah, alright. We've got room now. Alright, we're just pure dodging. Or blocking. And ba-bam. Oh. Cool. Got an opportunity there. And bam. Cool. We deal with you. You're less stressful. less unpredictable, and frankly less intimidating. Not that I wish to, Oh, okay, yeah. Eh. I fell out of bounds. That one always gets me. I have been getting better at it, though. There was a period of time where I was just constantly getting pushed out of bounds and restarting the battle and losing my advantage. This guy does hit hard. He does push back quite a bit. One of the things I do like about the Buster Sword is how much time it gives me to do the parry. Because I was usually missing those on the lighter, faster weapons. They would just come when I didn't expect them. Okay, are you gonna push me out of the damn room? Alright, we're fighting in this direction now. Perfect. And got some white powder. But yeah, because the Buster Sword is so slow, it gives me a much better chance, or much more time, to hit kinetic blood stimulant? What the fuck did I just pick up? A small medical contraption designed to be inserted into the wearer's arm and kept firmly in place around the shoulder with a metal clasp. In response to high physical stress, the device injects adrenaline and glucose directly into the bloodstream, making it an indispensable tool for a soldier. Stagger attacks restore health. What do I have now? Increase enemy item drop rate, boost stamina recovery rate, retain a portion of your lost memory iron on death. Let's actually replace this, because the drop rate has been fine so far. Let's see how this affects my battling. That is a wild contraption, just lore-wise. Can I go this way? Oh, I can't go that way. That's the end. What about this way? Surely I can go that way. Oh, and I can even go further down. Nice. That's probably actually where I need to be headed. But let's do the battle up here first. Make sure we're getting everything. Not leaving any stone unturned. Don't want to miss a crucial switch or whatever. See, the trouble is I'm too slow to gain advantage with the Buster Sword. That's the real trade-off. I'm getting... Actually, I'm going to position myself in here. I'm getting the parries more often, but it makes it basically impossible to get... Whoa! To get the advantage strike. Gotta be careful. Take it slow and easy. What I should be doing is healing. I'm gonna take a heal. Just so that I'm on less thin margins. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Haha. Don't worry, I've only been playing this game for like 2 months now. And bam! That's a perfect strike. Or a perfect parry. Wham! And up. And block. Alright, we've got this one on the ropes. Hello, Francis! Whoops, I missed. It's alright. We're just gonna do a little bit of blocking, a little bit of parrying. How are you doing today, Francis? Hold on, I'll get you... I'll read after the battle. It is a timing-focused thing, and they don't let me pause during a battle. I'll get to you in just a second. but I hope you're doing well today, Francis. It's always fantastic to see you. One might even say frantastic, if one were so inclined, which I am. Hello. All right. Hope the shiny new internet is doing good, Francis Friendo. It is seemingly going pretty all right. We're dropping some frames from the network occasionally. It's not disastrous or anything. We've lost like maybe 3 or 4 seconds over the course of the entire stream, so it might be slightly less stable than the internet that I'm used to, but we've still been going pretty well so far. So I don't know. Maybe I can do something to tweak that. Maybe it's the fact that it's in the other room. Who knows? But I am able to stream, and I am able to stretch and hydrate. So let us do both of those things. I just got a Discord friend request from somebody I don't know. Interesting. Probably from the Lux Nova server. That's where they all tend to come from. Going kick ass. I always love catching you when you play. It do be fantastic. Yes, okay. I propose that this is our new catchphrase. All right. Did a little bit of stretching. I'm just sort of ambiently stretching as I'm talking. Doing a bunch of stretches. Limbering up a little bit. It was a long week at work, and there's only more long weeks ahead. And I put my mug on the other side of the room. Hold on. All right, here we go. You got this. I do got this. The trouble with the coming weeks is not so much the hours. It's going to be the intensity of the work. I'm going to be working like 3 hours a day, but doing a booth at like a fair. So it's only going to be like 3 hours a day, but it's a fair crowd, and it might also be very hot. So who knows? Thankfully, we are going to be inside a building. But how are you doing today, Francis? How are things treating you on your end of the world? And where am I? Why did I come into this room? Take care out there, do? Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. I can go down. And go up? Look at this. I know how stairs work, he said defensively. One of the nice things about the about working the fair is that we do get meal tickets. So I don't have to worry about paying for dinner. There are places there where I can get food. Do enjoy. Oh, wow. Okay, my chat didn't show me the last word of your message. Do enjoy. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Okay, so this is a different thing. This is a different place. I'm down at the bottom of this. Oh, and here's... Well, that's not the other end of what I was looking for, but... I'm picking up a lot of stuff. Lightweight silicon structure. Lightweight silicon structure. The fact that these are all in the accessories is fascinating to me. I'm actually very sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better quickly. But happy to wish my friendos good luck when I see one play. Yes, well, I mean, this is one of the few silver linings of being sick at home is that you can just sort of veg out and watch some stuff on TV or the internet. I don't know. I'd be curious to see how many people, like, I'm sure surveys must have been done. How many people still own an actual television? I don't know. It's certainly got to be fewer than like a couple decades ago. I like the art of this game. It fits your own style too, Francis. I also really like the art of this game. This game has been such a pleasant surprise. This game is free on Steam, Francis. I need you to know. This is a free Steam game. You can just download it right now if you wanted to. And the story has been fascinating. The art has been really cool. It's got this lovely eerie sense down in the well, in the caverns of the well. I'm adoring it so far. The Philippines is way behind tech, so most households still have TVs. Yeah, I suppose it would vary geographically quite a bit. Yes, free! This is a free game. It has no right being this good for it being free. An intricately formed silicon structure of a remarkable light weight, the making of which being possible only through extremely sophisticated archimancy, decreases encumbrance. Have I been having a problem with encumbrance? I'm not sure that I have. I'll leave that to one side for now. Maybe later on I'll be... Okay, we're still in the high strata. This is a bad sign. The terminal said dozens of strata below we would find the elevator. If we're still in the high strata... Why is that slightly red? I don't like that. Oh, it's a door. It's held shut by a mechanism. I see. So somewhere there's a lever that we need to pull to open that door. And that's probably going to be story progress. Song of Sunlight official, please sponsor this wonderfully awesome guy. I didn't know they had a Twitch account. Francis, how did you find that? Also, hello, Kixie. Hello, hello. A 15 stream streak. Hot damn. You are dedicated, girl. How you doing today? We're back after 2 weeks. I moved. I'm doing great. I moved. We're in a new place. The new place is so much nicer than my old place. I cannot stress enough how much more room and how much quieter it is. It's... I got this apartment essentially sight unseen, and I lucked out. Oh, it's so much better than my old place. I don't know, you probably won't be able to hear it because my microphone filtering was pretty good. My old place was so loud. I was right next to a major road with like a ton of shops and foot traffic on it. It was just so loud. But here, it's so much quieter. I'm so much more rested because I'm getting better sleep. And I have so much more room. I have so much more space to move around. I am currently recording in a study. I have a dedicated study now because I had an extra room that I didn't have to use for either my bed or my living room. So I could just put all my office stuff in here. I've got all my books and bookshelves and my desk and my computer, and it's great. I'm recording in a dedicated study. It's wonderful. All that to say, I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking, Kixie. How are you doing today? They don't, but if they do... Yeah, okay, so you're just preparing the ground. I see. Tending to the fields. In case we decide to grow some crops later. That's prudent, that's smart. Yes, I did move. How are you doing today, Kixie? It is probably... Yeah, it's a normal waking up time for you, I think. You getting your breakfast burrito, getting ready to start the day. I am trying to find a lever, it seems, somewhere in this crazy world. We also have an ad coming in 3 minutes. Oh, it's probably in here, isn't it? That looks like a lot of levers. Oh, did I get advantage on that? How the hell did I manage that? Whoa. Yow. Yow. You're not even close. You don't even go here. What are you doing? Alright, he's just swinging in the back a little bit. It's fine. And... Bam, block. Block. What are you doing? This guy in the back is... I don't think he's fully... I don't think he's fully here. I don't think he got the memo. I don't think he was at training. I think I even snuck an extra strike in there. Whoa, okay, different pattern. These guys have very limited range. That's good for me. Bam. Bam. And striker... Okay, we're going here. And here, we have to deal with both of them now. Alright, fine. Second guy finally joined the party. get an extra strike? I do. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah, I'm definitely digging the Buster Sword. I like how this feels to use. Oh god, my nose itches. Perfect timing. In a timing-based game, there's nothing more disastrous than an itchy nose. So say I. Right here, right now. I made that up. But it sounds true, and so it's more likely to be repeated. If I coin an aphorism, let it be that. Okay. Great job with all the move stuff. Yes, it was quite a quite successful move as well. It was a lot easier than last time. Still waking up, but good. That's fantastic to hear. I need to... See, you're in a better position than I am right now because I still have not done a grocery run yet. So I'm probably going to do that after stream today. I shall lurk while resting too. Go sing all the sunlight and win. You're doing great, friendo. Thank you very much, Francis. I think I'm starting to feel like I've got a decent hold on this. Also, you're probably in an ad, so maybe I'll I'll repeat that message after the ads end. And lovely. We should be out of the ad break. You hear me? Fantastic. Well, thank you for the lurk, Francis, and thank you for the encouragement. It is always delightful to see you, and I hope you get better soon. I hope this is a brief sickness. Yeah, the move actually went much smoother than any other move I've ever been a part of, because prior to now, it's kind of just been like me and probably some family members coming out and moving everything ourselves. Like, I would pack stuff into boxes as best I could, and then we would spend, like, you know, multiple hours a day on a particular day trying to move all my big, heavy furniture and all these boxes. And this time we decided to just rent a U-Haul truck and, like, hire 2 guys to come and do all the heavy lifting for us. One of these moving companies where you can just, like, hire some dudes. And my god, this is the smoothest move I've ever been a part of. I cannot recommend that strategy enough. Absolutely always, and thank you, Francis. Ditto, your streams are always wonderful, and glad the move wasn't too stressful. Thank you so much. The compliments mean the world to me, Francis. And yes, the move was so much less stressful than any other move. That looks like it would be a switch. Can this be a switch? Can we pretend this is a switch? Yeah, so if you're thinking of moving, or if you gotta move, if you have the ability, I highly recommend just hiring some people to help, because my god, that relieved so much headache in the process. Can I go further down? Maybe I need to ascend. Maybe there's something around here. See, the trouble now is that the switches don't stand out a bunch. Composite lead hand axe? Why am I suddenly discovering all of these things? Composite lead hand axe. A small, nimble axe intended to be wielded with one hand. Its material is a composite of 2 heavy metals, the primary being lead, lending a hefty weight and force to its strikes. Wait a minute. Lead. We're building weapons out of lead. This feels unwise. It deals extra damage while at high health, but not while at low health. It feels like I should be able to get over there. I need to find... Wait. Okay, that tripped me up a little bit. I need to find the labyrinthine way to get over there. This way offers no solace. What about up here? If I ascend the full way and try to get up and over, does that get me anything? I doubt it does, but we can try. This is... did I not? Trauma redirection shield. I feel... Did I miss all of these items? Why did I not see any of these coming down? A heavy layered shield, purpose-built for absorbing heavy blows and expelling their force back towards the attacker. Deals stagger damage to the attacker. This seems amazing. Can I equip this immediately? So right now... 5.599 plus 12. It's just better across the board. Yeah, no, this is an absolute no-brainer. We are using that shield. Not even a question. Now this does still leave us without a lever. And a way to get across that. The fact that the music changed, I wonder if we might have to go like up and over through the terminal chamber to do that. Like, what if I come here and then go down? I think I've probably been turned around. I'm wondering if these maps are messing with my sense of space. I wonder if they're doing more harm than good. Because I feel like it's flipping me around spatially. I don't see any other way through this hall, at least. I mean, this would normally let me go further down, but... alas. There's a room right beneath me. Why can I not access it? Aside from the one side where I can. Alright, I realize how that sounds. This is the floor below. And this is right below the terminal sentry. It looks like I should be able to get over there somehow. But for the life of me, I can't figure out how. It feels like I should be able to get like a ladder or a jump or a plank of some kind and lay it down. But so far I'm not encountering that. And on the list of other things I'm not encountering is a lever, a switch to open that door. Oh, hello. Perfect metal. God, that is an insane background. It's so uniform, too, which is a part of why it's disconcerting. No, I thought that might have been the lever. Alright. Moving down. We find ourselves here. I mean, this looks like a library to me. Maybe I just keep trying the far ends of these rooms. It's also possible that I'm just not as good at reading this map as I thought I was. Because it seems... Why not there? Why can't I go there? I'm still in the high strata. That is the door. Door is shut by a mechanism, and I can... I can spam my screen with that. Now, this definitely looks like a panel of levers, and buttons, and controls. And yet I cannot access anything here. These are just burn cream. Oh, it treats electrocution. That's nice. Now, have I been this way? No, this is new. Okay, this is new. Pick up segmented longsword. Alright, yeah, you can tell this is new because I am once again encountering items that I never even heard a whiff of before. A long, sleek blade composed of tempered, sharpened segments connected by a more flexible secondary metal. This flexibility allows the weapon to easily shed dulled segments and continue slashing at peak sharpness, rewarding aggressive, relentless strikes. Increases damage exponentially for each perfect hit in a row. Oh. Now that is an interesting proposal. Let me equip that as my secondary. I haven't really done much experimenting with switching weapons mid-battle, but... Oh, hello. Yeah, we have a cutscene. With another downed sentry. Or another downed terminal. A familiar form came into sight. It was another terminal authority. And just like the first, it seemed lifeless. Dead. Were they all like this? Was I just unlucky finding one that was still active? Strange. Can I do anything there? No, and I can't touch these buttons either. Oh, hi! Alright, I didn't get the advantage there. That's fine. Oh, hi, Mark. I see you are guarding the underground structure. The underground megastructure. What a story. And bam. Oh, and I got parry on that. Very nice. Parry nice. Oh, I'm pushing it a little bit. Okay. Bam. Bam. And we'll probably get him there. Alright, you are going to be a problem because I... Whoa, okay. I am going to get pushed out, so let me come further in, and we'll continue this in a second. Bam! And we get some whale on him. Got a dodge, or block. And I think we've got him more or less pressed into a corner, so we don't have to worry about space for a little bit. Oh, unless he does that. Electrocution. No. Alright, we'll take it. Wow, I'm surprised how little that damaged my health. We got a broken data card out of it. Okay, now looking at the map, I think this might be... Oh, hello. There's more of you. Hey, I got advantage. I just need to time it better. Now, at some point, I'm going to try the new sword. Oh, I don't even get to dodge that one. I just have to take the hit. Now, I remember there being something about being able to switch a weapon mid-fight. Am I not able to do that in story mode? That seems like a weird restriction. Can I not? Okay. Alright, I wasted time on that one. Alright, dodge, dodge. That's fine. Can I, like, find old tutorials? Controls list. Change weapon. Oh, yeah, it's the triggers. That's the triggers. Not the bumpers. Oh, well. Alright, we're back up here in this scaffolding, and this, I think, should take me to the other side of that ravine that I saw earlier. If my math is right, or my map is right. Super Conduit Arc Lance? Excuse me? I feel like the weapon quality has taken a dramatic spike in these last few hauls. A plate steel lance, fielding a deadly electric current, just as capable of devastating living targets as it is destroying hostile machines. So it just has an electrocution effect. Big stamina. Wow, okay. No, I want to try the segmented sword first. Alright, that's also locked. Fine. So I guess now the name of the game is this new section should have a lever in it somewhere. If my knowledge of game design is anything to go by. Go up. Burn cream. I can go down as well. Now going up, where does this take me? Well, I can't go in there, but I get an item. So that's something, at least. Now I can go down. Can I go in? Oh, wait. Hello? I was not expecting a cutscene. We've got a library. Okay. Yeah, no, we've been passing a lot of libraries. I didn't even think about it, but we probably should have been reading those things. In the center of the cramped room, there looked to be a table. On top of it was a rectangular metal box about the size of my palm. It was inset with a sort of glass. Ah, he found a screen. All right, we've got a device. I picked it up to get a closer look. As I lifted it, there was a small thud, and I noticed something had fallen out of it. Lying on the table was a peculiar, small metal card. It was flat, hard, and had a greenish hue. It looked as if it was supposed to slot perfectly into an opening at the top of the device. Out of curiosity, I picked up the small card and pressed it carefully back inside. There was a soft click, and suddenly, glowing green characters appeared on the glass. I nearly dropped it in surprise. More writing. There were several sentences that seemed to be cut off by the bottom of the screen. Curious, I put my finger against the glass, and the text moved up. I can move it around. What is this? Boomer discovers smartphone for the first time. It's over. It's over, chat. We're never getting him back. It's the moment of disaster right here. What is this? A book? I began to read. Esha... I was finally permitted by the counselor to walk the bridge to the adjacent stratum. The terminal authority was reluctant to let me enter, even after I presented my gene card. That's the way things are now, I suppose. Their dosage center was nearly as depleted as our own, but I managed to trade for a small supply of insulin for you. You'll be okay. Come find me as soon as you can. I love you. I reached the end of the writing, and with a soft click, the card ejected itself from the device, leaving the glass dark once again. It was like a letter. So many unfamiliar words, but it seemed to further support my suspicion. The people here, they were cruel to each other. Very cruel. They used ancestors to keep themselves apart. Why? Looking at the shelves lining the walls, I realized how many more metal cards there were. Oh, they're not books, they're data cards. Eager to learn more, I stepped quickly to the nearest shelf and grabbed another. It quickly fell apart in my hands. Scanning the shelves, I realized that the majority of the cards were in very poor condition. Damn it. There must be more of them. In better shape. I'll take this reading device with me. Picked up reading device. Okay, I'm curious what it says about this. This is a key item, including Brickworks key schema and a love letter. I wonder why I'm still keeping these things. Can I, like... Nope, I can't get rid of them, so the game seems to think they belong there. A small handheld device, capable of reading words inscribed on strange metal cards found throughout the strata. You feel it will be an essential tool in gathering more information, though you aren't sure how it works. Okay, well, that's just going to be knocking around in my pocket. Yeah, no, we've been encountering a ton of these places. But still no lever to open that door. Oh, hello. This is the first time I've encountered people on the catwalks. What about this way? Can I go this way? Oh, a little shiny item. Petrified bone! Hey, I can use that to get more health. That's huge, actually. You're gonna get into position. And we're gonna fight. It's time to fight. Alright. So we're looking at one crazy horse guy. And a couple of, I guess, tanks. They look kind of tanky. And boom. And boom. And boom. But bam. I've got a parry. Bam. Okay. So my thing is I started with one of the bruisers, I guess. So I'm locked in. I suppose there must be a way to switch targets, but hell if I know. It doesn't really bother me. The sequence is not all that important so far. I'm sure at some point there will be collections of enemies where it will be prudent to target one of them first. Ow. But so far that hasn't happened. At least not in story mode. And ba-bam. Yeah, I was kind of wanting to go this way anyway. Thanks. You made the decision for me. Bam. Oh, and we get a whale of a time. And block. And I get a parry. What's cool is that, oh, whoops. If you get a parry on one enemy, you can use it on another. Like, no matter who you're parrying, you attack the person that you're sort of focused on. So, like, bam, I blocked a horse guy. I don't even know if I should call him a horse guy. He's not really all that horse-shaped, but that's what came to mind for me. If I parry horse guy, I turn around and strike the guy that I'm targeting. It's interesting. Hi. Let's dance this way. You like to dance this way? What's your favorite dance? I'm a big fan of the shuffle myself. Though I suppose you're capable of much more dances than I am with, what with having 4 legs. I can't even imagine what you're capable of. Broken data card. Unfortunately not what I was looking for, but... we do... It seems like it's darker down here. I guess the lights must be just on the ceiling of the structure. Can I... nope. Oh, we can rest. That's useful, but, oh, it's a shortcut. Wasn't. It wasn't a story, it was a shortcut. Alright, well... I think we probably want to go this way, then. It seems the way. But then... I don't recall seeing anything else over here. This is where I got the petrified bone. And it definitely seems like the sort of the bottom of the space with it getting darker like this. So I'm wondering if I'm even supposed to be prioritizing this side of the structure. I mean, clearly I got the data scanner, the reading device, as they call it. So maybe the next thing is to try and find more of these data card rooms and see if any of them have something useful for me. I mean, God, you can just see, like, even just in the hallways, these data cards are littered everywhere. There's a huge number of data cards. So, one of them must be intact. One of them must have something useful. We've slowly uncovered the ability to read the records left behind by this civilization. That's gotta give us some kind of advantage. Some kind of inroads to piece together their timeline, to figure out what it is that went down here. Oh, I still haven't picked that up. Odd. Odd that that has not revealed itself to me yet. Okay. Let's try going up the taller ladder. No, I'm not trying to strike it down. I would rather like to use it. Yeah, the trouble is I was not paying attention to where any of the data card storage rooms were. I do find it somewhat hilarious that they've got, like, telephone wires down here. Like telephone poles. You can see them occasionally in the background. No, not any here yet. I mean, God, all these panels on the wall really feel like they should be accepting some type of... Oh, that's also new. They feel like they should accept some kind of... I don't know, either the data card or some other type of interface. I should go down to the bottom and get that camp. Get that campfire. I call it a campfire. It's not a campfire. You know what I mean. This bottom sleeping place. Do we just call it camp? I feel like we just call it camp. Oh, but I can't. That's... Huh. Alright, I was mistaken about my position in the cavern. I got lost. I got turned around. It happens. This place is a maze. And they don't do well to mark their geometry. It's all just sort of gray and winding. I will go to the bottom. I will go... Yeah, see, you look like you're something as well. I wonder if... Like, I see a connection to the other side there. That goes down and through this way. Maybe I missed that. There's a lot of places to keep track of down here. And yeah, no, I definitely did not come this way. All right. There's progress still to be made. Matter of fact, I'll get that save point since I'll just be able to teleport down here from it anyway. It'll be no big deal. I could also level up a bit. I might as well do some strength and some energy? What about you? Can I do all three of those? Wow, I can. What about vitality? I might as well boost you if I have the memory iron for it. Awesome. I don't think I'll be able to... I could do... No, let's go... Let's double our strength. Cool. All right. Whoops. Let me save. Game saved successfully. It occurs to me in retrospect, I probably should have seen the mistake I made in the first stream of accidentally not saving. I should have seen that coming, because this is a Souls-like, and they do typically do their save system at specific locations. Like, that's a genre staple of the Souls-like game. So maybe it shouldn't have come as much of a surprise. But it still did. Maybe that's just because I don't play a ton of Souls-likes. And we've got this wacky guy. But parry. Maybe I'll call him Parry. Nope. Okay, we're wailing on him. Hello, C. Hello, hello. How are you doing today? You were last seen playing Marvel Rivals, which I'm told is a popular game that people like. What's been happening in the Rivals scene recently? I feel like there's always news coming out of the Rivals scene. We are just here trying not to get smashed by a robot horse with a hammer. Now, I'm sure you're thinking that's an absurd thing to say. Well, yes it is. It's true. Hello, hello. How you doing today, C? Everything going all right? Is the world treating you well? It's so hot and muggy outside where I am. I can only imagine how bad it is for you. Okay, no, this is definitely new territory. We are going even deeper. Christ. Oh, how far down does this go? Burn cream. Thank you. Boy, oh boy, we are... No, we have found, like, the stairs that go down. That is... I hate to tell you, we found the stairs that go down. Oh, and the wires, it's obscuring more of the screen. It looks like you're descending into a spider's web. This is really good imagery, really effective. I love it. It's so hot. It's so hot. I did the move. I just moved apartments, and I did the move on the 3rd of July, which was the hottest place, or excuse me, the hottest day of that weekend, which was already super hot. All right, I guess we're plowing through this way. Oh, hey, I got an advantage there. That's cool. I think I am getting better at doing that timing. Whoop. Okay, no. You got 2 of those. That's cheating. All right. Gotta block and block and block and block. But we get a parry out of it, so that's good news. And a whale. All right, that wasn't a bad run. And we block and block and block and block. We don't get a parry out of it, but that's fine. We weren't even focused on you anyway. You're not even a part of this conversation. Whoop. Oh, and we got a parry as well. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of parries with the Buster Sword. I wonder if that's, like, weapon specific or if I'm just getting better. I'd like to think it's me getting better, but I've been wrong before. It's 104 degrees right now. Jesus. Well, it's the, Oh, are we... Yeah, I guess we're blocking. Block, and... That's it. I don't like how close to the edge we are. I'm gonna draw us back here. You can come... Oh, come on. You can come closer to me, thank you very much. That's fine. We can deal with that. Think of it this way. It's the coldest summer of the rest of your life. Doesn't that make it so much more enjoyable? Another one of these. Another downed terminal. And more telephone poles down here underground. That is, I think, kind of the strangest piece of imagery so far, but I can't say that I hate it. Alright, passing another review. Ionized discharge shield. Man, are we getting near the end of the game? Because they are loading me up with, like, what feels like super high-tech tools. Inflicts electrocution buildup. I think this is still not quite what I think I still prefer the shield that I have. For a free-to-play game, you're getting some real value. Yeah, it's insane that this game is free. They could have charged like 15, 20 bucks for this game and I would have paid it. This is... It's so much. Whoa, hold on. There's electricity here. There's also... What is this? A bunch of Archimancy products on the walls? Whoa, hold on. We might have found something wild here. Cutscene time. This room seemed different than the rest. For one, it's lit. It was divided into small sections by high tables, each littered with an assortment of items. Some of them were familiar. Small cubes, pyramids, and spheres. Small objects children in the settlement would make to practice their archimancy. But many of them were significantly more intricate. Shapes that seemed to twist into themselves, shapes with hundreds of faces. Many of them were shiny or reflective. Metal, perhaps? I was unsure what kind. There were tools as well. On the table, there was a metal card. I picked it up and carefully inserted it into the reading device. There was a soft click, and the glass lit up with glowing characters. I began to read. Observations on the age of objects made by means of archimancy. I have now concrete evidence that the relative age of two objects made using archimancy gives them special physical interactions. I have for many months been running trials using the various metals I am capable of creating. Though admittedly my access to the schemata for more sophisticated elements are limited by my stratum. By law, I am not allowed to speak to my contemporaries in the levels above myself. However, I have made do nonetheless. Over a year ago now, I first noticed it. I dropped a small copper scalpel on the ground, and saw that it left a sizable indent in the floor. I thought it immediately strange that such a light implement had caused so much damage to solid concrete, and so began my investigations. Indeed, all of the tools in my laboratory were capable of causing severe damage to the concrete of my building with minimal physical effort on my part. The material of the walls isn't particularly brittle. Hitting it against itself has little effect. That was when it occurred to me. All of the tools in my laboratory had been made by myself using archimancy within the past 5 years. It stands to reason that the strata themselves were once made with archimancy too, but quite some time ago. I'm told by my daughter that our stratum, being one of the newest, is still at least 700 years old. The implications of this should now be clear. The older an object made with archimancy is, the more fragile it is to archimancy made recently. When taken to the extreme, proper utilization of this phenomenon can yield incredible results. Today, I created a hammer of tempered iron, and within seconds of its construction, I struck a slab of concrete with all my might. The concrete, which I know to be at least 700 years old, was perhaps 4 cubic feet in volume, and it crumbled like gravel. I tried to process what I'd just read. The people that lived here, they knew so much about archimancy, so much more than we do. Does Sachita know this? If it's true, it might give me an incredible advantage. Yeah, if we can learn archimancy. That's the trick. We're very bad at it. All right, this feels like it's about time for us to ascend back to the surface, right? I walk home through the darkened streets with the other sentries, thinking it over. Ancestors. Are they also made from archimancy? I thought about what I'd read. At the time the messages had been written, there were ancestors still. That means, if they were indeed made by means of archimancy, it was at least a very long time ago. It stands to reason, if I improved enough that I could create simple weapons from archimancy and use them against the ancestors in the heat of battle, it could make short work of them. Yes. Yeah, this might work. I quickened my pace, eager to get home. I'll need to start practicing. Seriously practicing. Every night. In my spare time. When I have a break on duty, whatever it takes. However many hours. Suddenly I stopped and let them walk ahead. Tala turned back to look at me for a moment. But then he kept walking. I thought about what he'd said. Obsessed. I'm not obsessed. This isn't an obsession, it's all I can do. It's my real obligation. Some could say this would be an obsessive way of describing it. Some may say... I mean, he's definitely become very... I mean, look at this imagery. Right here. In this illustration. It's him being sort of gripped by the talons of the ancestors. I mean, doesn't get much more blatant visual imagery than that. Symbolism. I'm not obsessed. I'm not. I think maybe you are, a little bit at least. I came back to a quiet home. For once. Kanare and I didn't speak at all as we headed to our sleeping rooms. There was no banter, no laughs. It made me uneasy. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed up into the small hours practicing archimancy under my covers to block the light it produced. Recalling our very first lessons in general education, over and over again I made small blocks of wood and stone, spheres and pyramids of clay and packed dirt, trying desperately to make up for years of lost practice. I don't know if that's the healthiest way to practice, just spamming a bunch before the exam. But who knows? Save game? Yeah, I'll save and continue. That feels like an ominous checkpoint. From that day, the strange boy had taken her hand. Oh no, wait, this is exposition. From that day, the strange boy had taken her hand. The girl's life began to change. At first, they were nothing more than small gestures. Waves in her direction as they passed by, calling her by name, on occasion inviting her to play as they had. How long would it last, she wondered. At some point it had to end. Soon, the days became weeks, and the weeks became months. And before she knew it, the girl was waiting for them after her lectures, sharing her meals with them, speaking to them unprompted. How had it happened? She'd done nothing for them. Nothing at all. Often, the girl found herself sitting by a window open to the courtyard. Most days, they were there. The two boys would spar in the shadow of the bell tower, along with the others aiming to one day take wound-bearing as their obligation. She would watch them as she sat in her lectures, learning to stitch wounds and set bones. The girl wondered why it was they chose to spend so much time with her. With her, when there were so many other children. Is this what it's like to have sisters? The girl could count on one hand the number of conversations she'd had with her own. Now that they were apprentices and journeymen, they never came home. They never came to see her. Aram, the taller of the two, was quiet and kind. If the girl had forgotten her things, without thinking, he would volunteer to retrieve them. Like no other, Aram was passionate. He trained harder than any boy she'd ever seen. Though, between the two, it was to the shorter boy that the girl found herself drawn. In every room he was in, regardless of who might be there already, Kanari made himself known. He carried himself like dry grass lifted on the wind, dancing softly through the air, blowing over the island and out to sea. Nothing could hold him down or force him to sit still. The lecturer would speak, and Kanari would whisper a joke under his breath. There were his pranks, too. Children would find their sandals missing, only to see Kanari flash a mischievous grin from across the courtyard. While so many worked so earnestly towards their obligations, hoping desperately to impress the adults that observed them, Kanari simply let all the little things blow over him with the wind, smiling all the while. At first, she was astonished by the rude boy's behavior. The sarcastic way he answered adults, his casual demeanor in every situation. But towards the girl, "Come on, Prav. Let's get to the highest branch." Kanari put out his hand for the girl to take. The sun was low in the horizon, and the golden light, the pale tree was lit by a great flame. The girl shuffled anxiously in the yellow grass, looking up at the boy hanging off the trunk. "We're not supposed to climb it," she said. But Kanari just laughed. Any other person would think twice doing the things he did. But Kanari was Kanari, and nobody else. So he just laughed. "If we're not supposed to climb it, they should build a wall around it," he said, keeping his hand outstretched. The girl looked around nervously. "What if I fall?" Kanari smiled. "I'll catch you. And if I don't..." He looked at the sky thoughtfully. "I'll jump off after you, so we'll both get hurt." That seems fair, doesn't it? Not sure I fully agree with your rationale there, but yeah, whatever, go for it. Yes. Around her, it was different. It was the way he laughed it all off. The many things the girl was taught to care so much about. To Kanari, some days, nothing in the world mattered even half as much as watching the sunset from the top of a tree. It was that. That was what compelled her to take his hand every time he offered it. But that same time she spent with the two boys, the time she took away from her studies, the girl knew it wasn't free. Going hungry. So quickly it wasn't enough anymore. There was a dull thud, and she dropped the piece of ash brick onto the ground beside her. The stinging pain had left her lightheaded. The girl grit her teeth taking shallow, labored breaths. One more. She eyed her upper arm, looking for open space. From top to bottom, ending just at the point where the sleeve stopped covering her skin, her arm was covered with bruises and welts. Some were old, black, and scabbing. Others, like the one she'd just given herself, were red and bleeding. There's no more room. The girl carefully rolled down her sleeve and began eyeing her thigh when she heard footsteps. She saw a careful pull at the curtain to the storage room's door, a face peering in. She froze. Prava? Kanari's voice came softly. Are you in here? He pulled the curtain open and stepped inside, seeing her sitting against the far wall. Immediately, the girl felt shame overwhelm her. She tried in vain to cover the stones and shards of brick by her side with her menage. And all the while, Kanari looked at her curiously. Had he seen? He looked at her for a long moment, and then took a step forward, reaching for something at his side. Taking a knee, he produced a bound notebook and writing stick, handing it to her. Here, for you. She looked at the notebook, unsure of what to make of it. Did you take this without asking? She asked. Kanari grinned. Well, I borrowed it. The girl held it in her hands, flipping through the blank pages. For notes? She asked. Kanari shook his head. No, Prav. It's for you. You don't usually say much. So I was thinking, like, if you want to say something, and you don't want to say it out loud or whatever, you can write it down. Then show it to me later. The girl looked up at him, then met his eyes, and wondered for the 1000th time what she'd done to deserve his attention. But only if you want to. Okay? Well, I can certainly see how she fell for him. She has been having a rough time of things. Oh. Poor Prava. So much stress and expectations from her family, and here comes Kanari, who cuts right through it all. Yeah, no, she never stood a chance. She was falling for that guy, no matter what. I'd been staring at the ceiling for over an hour before I decided I would go to work. It was getting longer and longer each day. The time I spent deciding if it was genuinely worth it. God above. Did this used to be so hard? No. I don't think it did. I remember having a reason at some point. Something that motivated me. Are we playing as Kanari? Hold on. We're in the first person here, and this looks like Kanari to me. He's got the cane by his side. Are we switching POV characters? To get up in the morning and go to work, I don't remember what it was. I saw Aram through my doorway. Yep, okay, we're in Kanari's POV. Interesting, character shift. This feels significant. I saw Aram through my doorway, sitting by the staircase and trying his sandals. When he noticed that I'd sat up, he looked at me and gave me a weak grin. I waved, trying to smile in return. Aram's weapon and shield were laying on the ground to his left. As soon as he'd finished putting on his sandals, he took up his equipment and hurried down the stairs. Just like that, he was gone. It was a sight to behold, really. Unless I was slowing him down, Aram was never late getting to his post. Every morning, he woke at the same time and followed the same routine. He dressed, polished his weapon, and was out the door in under 15 minutes. I don't get it. Where does he get all of that energy? Where does he get that drive? He must remember his reason. Whatever it is that compels Aram to get out the door every day. Must be Sachita, right? Well, Well, kind of. It's half Sachita. It's less and less Sachita every day as he becomes more and more obsessed. Wasn't that supposed to be me? I was supposed to carry that sword and shield. I looked down at myself. The papers strewn about my floor. The cane. Left lying haphazardly off to my side. And the worthless, broken body still lying in bed. Unable to will itself just to stand and get dressed. No. Of course not. That was never supposed to be me. Aram was made to hold that sword. I was just made to watch. Alright, so Kanare is not revealing the pain that he's feeling about all this. I mean, it seems from the flashback that he started off as a fairly jovial character. But, after whatever accident damaged his leg, he's been in a lot of turmoil, and I think he's not letting it on. He's hiding behind his sense of humor, his frivolity, for lack of a better word. Prava held my arm firmly as we walked towards the kiln. I watched smoke billow from the chimney of the brickworks as we passed it by, drifting high into the morning air and disappearing from sight. I wasn't paying attention, and my cane caught on an upturned brick. I stumbled, losing my balance. But immediately I felt Prava's grip tighten on my arm, preventing me from falling face first into the street. Sorry, I muttered, embarrassed. Prava shook her head gently. You should lean on me more. It'll help. Symbolism again. That's, not a... Is that a metaphor? No. What do you call that? A double entendre, let's say. A double entendre that reinforces the themes of their characters. How sad is that? Walking with her is actually easier than walking with my cane. That's not sad at all. Man. Okay, so it's going to be interesting now getting his POV, exactly how oblivious he is to Prava's feelings. Oh, knocked my mouse off the desk, sorry. How oblivious he's going to be to Prava's feelings, because he's very oblivious from the outside. So I'm wondering how oblivious he actually is on the inside, or if he's just sort of self-loathing. I'd gone ahead of Prava to get my ration today. She'd told me she had something to do first. I watched as the cart worker poured just over a fifth of one ladle into a bowl. We have an ad in 3 minutes, everybody. Take whatever precautions you need to avoid the ad. We're going to have a bot message in chat in a minute or two discussing some of the possibilities for avoiding ads. The apprentice at the front of the queue walked off, looking down at his food with a blank, tired expression. Another reduction this week, it seemed. What difference will it make? I'm still hungry from the fourth of a portion I got yesterday. Suddenly there was a forceful push at my back, and I stumbled forward, almost losing my balance. I turned my head rapidly, and saw a group of 3 journeymen in line behind me. They laughed under their breath, turning away coyly as if they hadn't just shoved me. More of this? It had been happening frequently, whenever Prava wasn't with me. They took any opportunity to push me around. That's for the best, though. Thank God she isn't around to see it. I turned away, choosing to ignore them today. What can I do, anyway? Hide behind Aram? Get him to fight my battles for me? No way. When Prava wasn't around, it made it so obvious. So easy to see. I don't have a single friend here. I haven't made a single one. Not one in 7 years. That's fucked, isn't it? Or, no. It's kind of funny, actually. All I've ever done is be a complete ass. There hasn't been a single day where I've ever taken my work at the kiln seriously. Not like the others. It's no wonder they're finally fed up with me. I deserve it. It's who I am. Alright, well, no, he's getting a little bit spirally now. I really feel like Aram should tell his friends about this, if only for their own mental health. The whole well thing, his whole project. His mission, as he calls it. I dipped my brush into the small bowl of ink on the table, lifting it to the surface of the vase. I made a long stroke along the side, linking it up with a line Prava had just finished. She sat on her knees to my right, quietly painting. Whatever I was assigned to do, unless she was explicitly told otherwise, she volunteered to do it with me. Everything. She followed me around everywhere I went. To and from work, and then all day long. She does things for me. All the time. Without asking. She brings me things so I don't have to walk and get them. She carries anything that's too heavy. She gives me a hand every time I try to stand up. Alright, we're in an ad, so we'll let those play. I get the feeling... Now, this might just be me misreading the intention of these sentences, but I'm getting the feeling that Qunari might actually resent Prava a little bit for, I don't know, babying him somewhat. For a guy who thought he was going to be a wound bearer at some point. Surely, you know, his reduction in mobility is going to be a big blow to self-esteem. And then being sort of doted upon, being sort of, well, for lack of a better word, babied by his friend Prava, that might actually sting more than she intends it to. I looked over at her, kneeling next to me. She noticed me turn my head and gave me a sidelong glance. She smiled. I've let this go on too long. Way, way too long. Letting her do these things for me. Is she really... Are we really that close? Okay, hold on. He might perceive it. I think it might possibly be a self-loathing thing that he keeps, like, brushing it off. I see her every single day. More than Aram. How did it get like this? How did it happen? What does she see in me? What does she see that keeps her glued to my side? I have no redeeming qualities at all. Yeah, no, this guy is depressed. Like, capital D depressed. Not like Aram, not like Sachita. None. There was a soft rattling sound, and I realized I'd dropped my brush to the ground. Before I had the chance to look and see where it had fallen, Prava was already reaching for it. She handed it to me without a word, and I took it. Yes. It needs to stop, because this feeling I get when she's around, it's suffocating me. I'm not totally sure how to read that last line. Is it like... Is that a good feeling, or just literally feeling suffocated? So, Sachi convinced me to go back and look under my desk. And, of course, that's where it was. Ah. Should have been the first place I looked, you know? Glad you found it. Mm-hmm. Are you feeling okay today, Khan? Yeah. I am. Why? You've been so quiet lately. Is it the hunger pains? I get them all the time. What? No. It's nothing like that, Prava. it's the end of the day. I'm just eager to finish packing up so we can go home. Is it the journeymen? Are they being cruel to you again? Prava, I already... Just say who it is. Point them out, and I'll talk to them. Prava, I won't let it keep happening, okay? Time to go. Thank you for the stream and have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by, Kixie. As always, wonderful to see you here. Good luck with your stream. I didn't actually hold on when you came in. I didn't check the shout out to see what you've been playing recently. What were you playing last time? Say no more. Wild punctuation, but a curious name. So, if you're playing more of that, best of luck. Best of luck with whatever you're streaming today, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. Stay true to yourself. I dropped the box I was lifting onto the shelf loudly, spinning to face Prava. Yeah, no, okay, he's angry. He's actually kind of fed up with this. Thank you, thank you. I salute you. I have literally saluted you in real life. Yeah, no, this is probably going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Qunari. God above. How many times do I have to keep repeating myself to this damn girl? She just won't let up. I felt my frustration boil over. My God, Prava, I snapped. I don't need your help with anything like that. It's not a problem, so stop asking about it. Immediately, I knew I shouldn't have raised my voice. Prava fell silent, casting her eyes aside in embarrassment. She shuffled her feet, clasping her hands at her waist. We passed a moment in tense silence. Right, she said finally, her voice thin and quiet. Okay then. If you ever need me, just say my name and I'll come for you wherever you are. A moment later, Prava reached behind her and produced a small notebook. She opened it delicately, taking up the charcoal stick pressed between the pages, and began writing. I watched her scribble away, and as she so often did, feeling like there was a weight in my stomach. I must have given that to her more than 10 years ago, and she's still... I started to speak without thinking. God, you're really still using that old thing. Just toss it already. There are plenty of notebooks around. Okay, does he know how mean he's being, or is he deliberately trying to sabotage this? Immediately, she stopped writing. First, Prava looked up at me, eyes wide, and then down to the notebook in her hands. She seemed to study it intensely for a few long seconds, ultimately tucking the notebook back into her menage. I'll be right back, Khan, she said quietly. I forgot that I left something in the other room. With that, she walked briskly past me and through the door. The sound of her footsteps echoed through the nearly empty building, and I realized she hadn't actually gone anywhere at all. She was standing on the other side of the doorway, just out of my sight. There was a faint whimper, and then, barely perceptible above the ocean winds, there was quiet sobbing. Oh, they actually found a voice sample for that. It was faint, like everything possible was being done to cover it up. That's her. It was over in under a minute, and just as quickly as she'd left, Prava came back in, stopping just short of me. I started biting my tongue to keep myself from saying even a word. I stared biting my tongue to keep myself from saying even a word. Anything at all. She wiped her eyes and extended her hand, smiling. Should we go home? Yeah, nah, you fucked up there, Qunari. I gotta say, without qualification, that was a fuck up. I mean, you probably know that and did that on purpose because you think you're shit, but that was a fuck up. It's not enough. Prava's angry voice cut the quiet evening air. You're not doing enough. I looked at Prava nervously. Okay, we're back to Aram. Noticing the dark circles under her reddened eyes. Her hair was unkempt. Has she slept? I spoke up. I've done everything you've asked of me. If you just tell me what it is that's... Prava stepped forward, grabbing the collar of my shirt. What exactly have you been saying to him? She spat. He's gotten worse. Suddenly letting go, Prava stumbled back, putting her head in her hands. Oh, God above, she moaned. I can feel it, Aram. He's pulling away from me. I came forward slowly, trying to put a hand on her shoulder. Prava, I began. He needs space. Just back off for a while. Prava shoved me away, slapping my hand aside. He's your friend, she hissed. Your best friend. And you couldn't care less. I didn't respond. You're so busy with that precious well of yours. Running about in that dark, empty nothingness. Paying no mind at all while your friends are here at home starving and suffering. Her words transformed my uneasiness to fear. Prava, I'm going to ask again. How do you know so much about the well? Prava was quiet for a moment, seeming to cut her tirade short. Oh yeah, that's right. She does seem to, know what's in there. So she's been into the well. Yeah. Okay, no, this is it. This is good. We need to learn this. She put her head in her hands once more. Oh, she said slowly. I know what this is. It's you. Her voice was almost shaking. You're the one pulling him away from me. You're feeding him all sorts of ideas, turning him against me. Her head shot up, and she stared at me. Her eyes were like I'd never seen them before. I put up my hands disarmingly, afraid of what she might do. She's... Prava, please, I said. You're acting... I swallowed my words and reconsidered. It's not like that. I promise you it's not. Prava didn't speak for a long while. Go home, she said finally. Go home, Aram. Convince him. Convince Qunari to tell me how he's really feeling. He won't talk to me. I need to know. Well, she's got dirt on us, so we kind of have to. No getting around this. Aram has been sort of deliberately trying to have his cake and eat it too, as it were. To talk to Qunari without actually talking to Qunari. Okay, so it has us going to sentry duty, but let's do a quick sweep. Make sure we're not missing anything. As we like to do. And that's the tree. All right. This is the far end of the settlement. And we'll just do a sweep through and see if anyone has assignments for us. I suspect there will be very few, if any, because people don't trust us as much anymore. Us, being the ones who keep them from getting food that they need. Not now. Alright, yeah. Sure. I imagine tensions are high. I don't have to imagine tensions are high. Tensions are high. There's no imagination about it. That's our house. Anything in here? Nope. Nothing in the courier outpost. Nothing in this house. I'm surprised that isn't an alley that we can enter, but let's see. Yeah, I think the side quests have somewhat dried up now that everyone kind of tacitly hates the wound bearers. The clothier. You might have something. No, not you. The loom. The loom might have something for us. Ah, Aram. Master Die Maker. Are you well? Oh, please. Don't worry yourself over me, Aram. I've never had much of an appetite to begin with. But I worry about you more than myself. You must be famished, running about all day. I don't deserve to be. My ration was cut, yes, but compared to the others, it hardly changed at all. Worrying about me, it's a waste of time. Aram, none of this is fair. Perhaps your suffering is less than others, but it's suffering nonetheless. Even if you won't worry about yourself, I will. Thank you. She is as kind as ever. Oh, I think I can enter this. Yeah. Alright. We haven't had much occasion to visit the alleys since that one side quest, but now I am compelled to look at each and every alley every time. Inaya. Inaya? Oh. Sorry. I was just, it doesn't matter. Can I help you? Inaya, your ration... What is it? Aram, please. Let's not talk about it, okay? We can talk about anything else. I don't want to hear an apology or sympathy or whatever. Let's just pretend everything is normal. Okay. Sorry. What did I just say? Anything for barter? Yeah, do we have items? I think we went through most of these and did not see anything that we were particularly compelled to buy. What about in the Sun Temple? I mean, we can always check in here. Again, this is one of those situations where I don't know if... oh, whoops. I don't know if we're supposed to be checking in here every time, but once or twice there has been a side quest in here, and so now I am always concerned that I'm going to miss something if I don't check it. So we'll do a quick run through of the Sun Temple. Oh god, I need healing as well. I should be able to get that at any bench. Not bench. Bed? That's the word I'm looking for. Alright. We'll start up here. And yeah. No side quests, it seems like. That is perhaps unsurprising. Ooh, I don't want to speak, I want to enter. So, now that we are starting to actually sort through the messages left behind by the old culture and practicing our archimancy, how is that going to help us get down to the elevator? I don't even know, because we've been moving pretty deep into the structure. Library. And we have yet to find an elevator. Well, not a working one, anyway. The hospice. Alright. What we can do here is... Oh, it's you again, Aram. Hello, Sita. Do you mind if, Could we still barter, maintain our arrangement? Oh, yes, it should still be okay. But, I know I should just go and ask myself, but is Prava alright? I've heard the kiln was hit pretty hard by the rationing. They're managing. Yes, we can upgrade our kit. We now have 4 health kits. Surely this is going to be the edge that tips us over into absolutely clearing this this well. All right, we'll rest here. Might as well save. Not really enough to significantly level up anything, I don't think. Yeah, no. We'll have to wait for that. All right. As I suspected, nobody wants anything to do with us right now, so it's off to work. How long has it been? How long have we been practicing Archimancy? Like, a couple days? We do occasionally like to do our time skips in this here game. Though they're not usually long time skips. And a cutscene. Watch. I held up my palm, concentrating. The air shimmered, and a dim indigo light hovered above my hand. After about a minute, there was a soft sound as a small stone knife fell into my hand. Hey, look at that! Not bad, Aram. That's a significant improvement over how you started, which was producing stone spheres that immediately turned into dust. Tala looked closely. A knife? He asked. I nodded. I'm down to about a minute per performance. A minute per... Let me try that again. I'm down to about a minute for permanence, but I could make a temporary one in a few seconds if I needed to. I've been practicing a lot. Tala seemed impressed. Just this week? He asked. All right, it's been a week. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that, game. I nodded again. I don't know many materials yet, but... Tala leaned in, studying the knife. It's not bad. Are you really doing all of this because of that message you found? How do you know? It's true. I decided a demonstration would be easiest. Gripping the knife tightly, I turned and slashed the nearby wall. As soon as the blade made contact, there was a soft cracking noise, and a cloud of dust kicked up from where I made contact. As it dissipated, it revealed a deep cut in the stone of the wall, several inches deep. The stone had been pulverized. Tala's eyes widened. The knife is already about 30 seconds old, so it's lost some of its power, I said, inspecting my work. Against something as old as these walls, though, it does a lot of damage. The effectiveness seems to taper out pretty rapidly, so if I can land a hit within just a few seconds, it should be devastating. Tala nodded thoughtfully. Have you tried it against them yet? He asked. Ancestors, I mean. I shook my head. That's what tonight is for. To test my theory. All right. I smell a new game mechanic coming on. How is this going to work? We're out of buttons. Am I moving? Oh, I'm moving. Yay. Sentry duty. Do we have any... do we have any clear objectives? No. Come on. Hold on. Game froze a little bit. Come on. There we go. Usually you just have to give it a couple seconds. High strata. We still have this question of how we're getting over there. But that seems to lead from this entryway. If we follow this, that leads around and down. Or excuse me, down and around to the other side of the ravine. So we should expect an enemy on this side. Alright. How are we doing this? This doesn't look like trying out the new technique. Do I have to equip the weapon? Maybe. Oh, wail on him, wail on him. That didn't feel as effective. Wow, I'm just getting to pummel this guy. And bam, and bam. This guy never stood a chance. Look at me. Look at me go. And this should seal it up. There we go. Alright. We've got that. This is where I came. This is definitely the other side of that ravine. And so we progress down the stairs that go deep. I should probably check to make sure... Yeah, no, I don't have the Archimancy knife. So that's probably a technique that they're going to teach me eventually. This is the bottom of where we left last time. Alright. Secured my advantage. Yeah. I definitely am getting better at that. Ooh. And a barrage as well. Things are looking up. Ah, you got me. That's fair. Bam. 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 Endure. Okay. I was worried I was going to go out of bounds on that one. Thankfully, I did not. And we get a parry. And a barrage. Okay, we need to guard. And... attack. And now we're getting close to this edge. I don't care for it. Broken data card. Well, should we, like, go and try and exchange all of this stuff at some point? Right, okay. This is the Archimancy lab, and this is where we got to last time. See, the thing that's troubling me is that there is electricity going to this light, which means there's electricity flowing through these wires to some extent. And yet, the terminals are dead. So that's not just a power loss. Strata slums. Ooh. There's a big room. Hello. Yeah, I think these are just a bunch of cots strung up on top of each other. Alright, yeah. So even within a stratum, there appears to be stratification. Okay, hi. Let's just deal with... cutscene? I was not expecting that. Why? It's just a normal enemy. There was an ancestor blocking my path ahead. It was one of the slower, more sluggish ones. This is as good an opportunity as any. I stepped forward carefully and readied my hands. This is why. It's a tutorial. I focused my mind on the stone dagger I'd been practicing for days. Over and over again, until I could picture it in vivid, unshaken detail. This time, I'll need to do it quickly. very quickly. I felt my pulse quicken, trying not to let my nerves throw off my focus, and finally mustered myself for the charge forward. Combat Archimancy. Here we go. This was the last piece. Oh my god, there's a new gauge down at the bottom. There's a purple gauge. 20 out of 20. I guess that's my mana? Or what counts as mana in this world? In combat, Aram can use Archimancy to create temporary weapons and extend his attack combos. Take advantage of the interaction between old and new Archimancy to deliver devastating blows to enemy ancestors. To initiate an Archimancy attack, you must first land every hit in an attack combo. If you miss a single hit, you'll have to wait until your next attack to try again. Alright. You'll notice that the purple Archimancy meter will fill as you complete your attack combo. On the final hit of your attack, when the purple meter is full, hold down A instead of releasing it, and you'll immediately launch into an Archimancy attack. Practice initiating an Archimancy attack. Do I need to press and hold here? Interesting. It's Bitten! Hello, Bitten! Hello, hello! How are you today? How have things been? Last scene showcasing Raft. Love a good Raft. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or just... okay. I don't quite know what it wants me to do there. I assume we'll figure it out in combat. Good. Currently on the subway. Ooh, love a good subway. We don't have many subways here. That's just sort of American public transit for you. Yeah, we are... I mean, in the game, I am very subterranean. Complete your full attack combo, then launch into an Archimancy attack. Alright, it's time for practice. Bam. Bam. Success. Once Aram has created the temporary weapon with Archimancy, you'll immediately begin attacking again. Attacking with a temporary weapon works the same as the standard weapon. Press A, right as the outer ring touches the inner ring to maximize damage. Once the Archimancy attack is complete, or you miss an attack, the temporary weapon will crumble into dust. However, you'll also gain a brief Archimancy ability advantage for several turns following the attack. These abilities have a variety of beneficial effects. My internet is a bit scuffed, so I'll come back when I get home. Have a good stream, though. Thank you very much for stopping by, Bitten. I hope your internet does not cause you too much trouble. And safe travels. Keep in mind that you must wait until the previous ability advantage has exhausted before you can perform another Archimancy attack. Practice using a full Archimancy attack on the enemy. Alright. Thankfully, they don't time me on this, so... Bam. Bam. Whoop. Okay, hold on. I need to try that again. We'll try that again. Bam. Bam. Ah, I missed the attack. The color threw me off, unironically. Bam. Bam. Okay, it's a little bit faster. Interesting. Using an Archimancy attack costs faith. Oh, that's what the resource is called. Faith. But you regain a small amount by destroying enemies, or all of it by resting at a campsite. You can increase your maximum faith by upgrading your Penitence attribute. Oh, that's a new attribute that we have. Very nice. Similarly, you can increase the damage dealt with your Archimancy weapons by upgrading your Insight attribute. Lastly, note... Oh, hello. A big truck is passing by outside. Right outside my window. I'm on the first floor, like, half sunk in the earth, so it's a bit like being a gopher. Lastly, note that archmancies are equipped in your loadout menu and associated with either your primary or secondary weapon. You may have up to 2 archmancies equipped at any time, and the weapon you attack with dictates which archmancy you will use for your archmancy attack. Okay, so that's just associated with a particular weapon. Alright, let's try doing this again. And... aw. Missed that one? I guess I'm trying to get to... Stone Dagger... not sure what my current status effect is, but we'll see if this is sufficient to complete the quest. It's not Stone Dagger, that's my weapon, not my status. Yay! I did it! My heart was pounding. It worked. It worked even better than I thought it would. For the first time in many weeks, I felt something like a sense of encouragement come over me. For once, I have a single advantage over this horrible place. That is huge. So far, we've mostly just been trying to survive down here. But now... go down. Oh. Now we have a way to actually fight these things. Now, let me save. First of all, okay, so he's back up there. Leveling up. Oh, look at all this. Penitence and insight. That's all brand new. Now, this is my faith meter, and this is the damage that I do with Archmancy. Those are both now 1. I wonder if it would be... now would be a good time to go back up. Yeah. Yeah. Where am I right now? Desolate Edifice. Okay, that's where I am. I'm pretty sure the machine... yeah, I can now exchange all these machine parts for memory iron, and I can just pump those into my new Archimancy skills. You've returned. Yeah. Why? Why are you still here? Yeah, no, this is all old dialogue. Purchase items. Oh no, I'm a fool. I can salvage at any time, right? Yeah, I can just salvage all of these. Salvage, I don't know, how many can I do? Okay. Lots of memory iron. What we're gonna do is we're going to just salvage basically every machine part that I can. Because why the hell not? We might as well just pump it all into these new skills. Because it's not like I'm using it for anything else. Whew, look at all that memory iron. That's fine. None of these. Salvage for memory iron. These do. Whoop, I have to sneeze. Oh, jeez, excuse me. I was not fast enough to mute. Salvage you. Salvage you. And that's everything, right? Nothing else has salvage for memory iron. No other machine parts. Yeah, cool. Wait. Right, and this is the Archimancy. Faith cost, knockback weak, Attack is 2 times 60. That is substantial. That is substantial damage. So let us go back to the campsite and level up. We have a ton of memory iron to spend here. So let's start by going, I don't know, level 3 for that. And just level 3 on both of those? Why not? And actually, could I do... No, we'd need an extra 2012 there, but that's fine. We have already boosted our Archimancy skills quite substantially. Back to the desolate edifice. The partition strata. Oh my god. This is quite the drop. That's held shut by a mechanism. Alright. Time to go hunting for a mechanism. Oh boy. Never quite get used to how big this place is. Bam. Bam. What? Yeah, you can't get me. Oh, that did take a lot of my stamina, though. It's fine. We'll just take that, and probably that'll finish it off. Nice. Nothing in here, though. Oh, wait. A treasure chest. With some white powder. Alright, fine. Go down, or go over here. And that's just some perfect metal. It occurs to me I probably could have upgraded my Buster Sword with some perfect metal. Huh? Oh. Oh my. No, we've got options here. Alright, fine. Geometry prevented me from getting advantage there. That's fine. We'll just deal with it. Okay, apparently I was good enough there. Bam. Bam. Okay. That one, its attack pattern speeds up as time goes on. No, I don't want to... Oh, we're gonna just push out, aren't we? Oh. Got lacerated. Let's back up. And heal. See, what happened was I was pressing the wrong button to block. I do be doing that sometimes. It's very disadvantageous. Oh boy. And this just goes over here. Alright, we've got another chasm to cross. Go down, go up. I don't suppose I can... Yeah, no, that just leads nowhere going up. So that's our way up. We can go down. And you look different. But I can still get advantage. So that's nice. What? I dodged. You can't lie to me. I know what I did. Alright, that one was on me. I missed that one. And bam. And bam. And bam. And we should have a decent shot in these next turn or so. Oh, wow. I feel like I keep, like, destroying them when they have more health than my strikes deal. Ancestor Appendage, I can... hell, might as well... Nah. We'll wait till I'm closer to a save point to recycle those. Alright. Well, nothing but a chest down there. Perhaps... Insurgent Sidearm? That sounds like a gun. What you've just described sounds like a gun. A narrow, retractable blade. Alright, it's a blade. Intended to be concealed or worn discreetly beneath the user's clothing, leveraging the element of surprise to deal fatal, precise strikes. Deals extra damage for each enemy nearby. Now that could come in handy sometime, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of just digging my Buster Sword. I don't have a particular reason to stop using it at this point. You don't go anywhere, right? No, you don't. So we've got a dead end this way. I think the only way to progress is to go down these stairs. Nope. And just more stairs that go down. I'll come back in a second. There be items. Come on. Perfect metal. Alright. Let's do it again. Bam. 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 Yes, I do need to say it every time. It helps. It helps with the timing, unironically. At least it does for me. Bam. Alright, I'm actually going to draw this backwards a little bit. Perfect, and I just got to recover some stamina as well. And like that. Just recover. And we'll do another Archimancy attack. Oh. Cheap. Interesting. So I can't do both an Archimancy attack and like a volley. Or at least I have not discovered the way to do that. At least I don't think it ate up my faith. Okay. That's fine. I am low on faith right now, though. So, I'll have to be careful about what I'm using. Actually, I don't think I need to do much direct consideration of that. The game will just not let me do Archimancy attacks if I don't have enough faith. So, all's well. Salvaged hydraulic. Why'd I say it like that? Hydraulic. Hydraulic. The salvage remains of a hydraulic system that once functioned to operate an ancestor limb. In this context, the hydraulic fluid pushing through the tube is in many ways reminiscent of blood flowing through an artery. Destroying enemies restores a small amount of health. Well, that's actually quite cool. I'm not sure I would go for it right now, but it's nice to have in the back pocket. Are you the same guys? No, you are different. Alright. You caught me off guard, but I got my own techniques. You can't stop me. I'm gonna find my way through this underground cavern if it's the last thing I do. Even if it doesn't give me the information I want. Ooh, okay. You got me on that one. Fine. Bam, bam, bam. That's fine. We'll tango that way. And a bang. A boom. and we're blocking again. You got some quick strikes, my friend. Not sure it matters much when I have a sword the size of my own body, but... I shouldn't get cocky. You could still get the jump on me. And I think that's it. Yeah. Broken data card, a red, powder. All's well and good. Let's go up. That's nothing. So let's go up. Are we? Huh. So that just goes all the way there. I'm fairly certain we might have seen this hallway before. Yeah, we need to recover our faith. Wow, you weren't even involved in that round. Shame. I need to stop. I'm getting too cocky about this. I am playing on story mode after all. I shouldn't be too too gung-ho about my skills. Oh, I targeted this one. Alright, sure. Bam. 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 Oh, it's so close. Yeah, that's fine. Hello? Okay. The doors hidden in the background always get me when I'm trying to strike someone. So that gave me one faith. Yeah, I definitely need to improve. I need to improve my faith. I'm going to bring us this way, actually. Because you seem to want to push me in this direction. There, and I haven't really taken the time to look at these characters. Whoa, okay. Maybe that's why. This one looks snake-like. They all kind of vaguely seem to be designed after an animal-like design. Oh, what a fantastic sentence. They all seem to be adopting animal features, and I know for sure that I dodged that. You can't tell me that I didn't dodge that. I pressed the button. Maybe I didn't time it right. I don't know. Yeah, I might have been too early, honestly. Or maybe I'm just starting to suck at dodging. This is also possible. But usually the tolerance for the other prompts have been wide enough that I feel like I should have gotten that dodge. Anyway. We've got... Where does this take me? Oh, hi. Oh, I've got enough faith to do an Archimancy strike. Don't mess up. Look at that, we're already more than halfway down his health. Those are some insane strikes, if you get the Archimancy right. Yeah, no, we're back in sort of the big chamber from above. This is... Oh, hello. Insurgent's Buckler. That's new. No, that's probably in here. Yeah, not better than the shield I currently have. I don't think. Maybe I'll reassess later, but... Alright, we came from below? I think so. Nothing in here except chains. Oh, hey, cool. We can open this up. Very nice. The music's changed. I don't like it. I don't like it when the music changes. Hello? It's not just the music has changed. The music has disappeared. Oh, dear. I don't like the sound of this. What on earth? Why would you need, like, test tubes? Or, like, breeder tanks? You do archimancy. Or is this how archimancy works? What is this? There was a small pile of message cards atop a long table. I picked one up that looked functional and quickly slotted it into the message reader, watching the green characters slowly fade in. This is my report on the last of the specimens you provided me. I'll be elated beyond belief when I can wash my hands of this vile work. Simply put, they're dead. Not a single infant lived longer than a few days after introducing the gene, just like the others. It's what I've been telling you for months. Nothing about the potency of the embryo's existing gene going in improves their viability. Hold on, let me read that again. Nothing about the potency of the embryo's existing gene going in improves their viability. It's impossible. We can't supplant our children with stolen genes. I care not what political implications this has. I'd like to only be left out of the senseless killing of so many children. I know, of course, what you have planned for me now. Don't trouble yourself. There's no need to send the Vanguard to my cell. When you read this, I'll be gone already. The freedom fighters gave me an ultimatum last night. I'm going to join the cause, or they'll kill me. They intend to storm the upper strata, throwing body after body at the terminal until they break through. I'm to be just another piece of fodder in a losing battle, but I intend to go willingly, you see. Given the choice to die at your hands, no longer useful in carrying out of such inhumane and depraved acts, or die cut to pieces in the small hope that we might end this oppression. At least the latter might redeem some modicum of what I've done. Farewell. Okay, so they were trying to improve their genes. that expression, oh, that feels like a meme. That expression feels like a meme. Oh, what do I know that from? I don't know. They were trying to splice their genes so they could get through. Yeah, we're just going to leave that unremarked. Okay. Yeah, these tanks are vile things indeed. We are still going further down. The architecture has become more and more ruinous. This way. This way first. We look like we're on the ground, actually. Ad coming in 3 minutes, everybody. Brace yourselves for that. It looks like we're on the ground of this stratum, at least. Nope, it still goes further down. We just hit a local pocket of ground. This is quite a long ladder. That's it? That's all that's down here? Uh-oh. Well, let's save. We've got an opportunity to level up a bit. Let me go back in and salvage all of these things. Might as well. And salvage you. And salvage you. And that should be it. Yeah. Okay. Let us level up. I definitely want to increase the damage that I'm doing. Or actually, I seem to be doing a sizable amount of damage right now. Maybe it's better to increase my penitence. And I can go 2. Well, howdy doody. Let's just go 1 of each. We'll keep this vaguely in balance. Oh, I can go even further. Yeah, okay, we'll do this. And that'll be that. Save, and we go on. And it looks like a cutscene. I stopped through the threshold of what appeared to be the remains of a great metal door. It was enormous, nearly twice my height. Stepping through, I examined the layered metal, which had now rusted apart and collapsed. At some point, the door must have been incredibly thick, perhaps several feet thick all the way through. Whatever it was meant to protect, I thought, was meant to be kept absolutely inaccessible. We may have found an important room. Okay, hold on. I'm bracing myself because this feels like a boss arena. My game design senses are tingling, and I feel like we're about to hit a boss. When I saw what was at the center of the room, my heart stopped. It looks like an elevator. Immediately, I ran forward to get a closer look. It was unmistakable. It looked almost exactly like the one I'd seen in the area above the strata. The Terminal Authority hadn't been lying. There were others. All right, we'll let the ad break progress. I will take a sip of water. To whet my whistle while we wait for the ads to finish up. Okay, so not an immediately obvious boss room, but still possible. Still definitely possible. I'm still keeping my wits about me. All right, we're back. There were others. What's more, it seemed to be in significantly better condition than the other. I swung the door open to the small room, looking around eagerly. The interior looked identical to the one I'd seen, but free of rubble and debris. The panel on the wall seemed in better shape as well. I came close and tried to see if there was a way to interact with the elevator somehow. I didn't exactly know what I was looking for, but I'd formed somewhat of an intuition about the strange mechanisms I'd encountered in the well. There was some invisible force that seemed to connect devices together. It allowed one to pull a lever or press in a small indent and open a door or activate some other contraption. Surely this elevator is no different. I fiddled with the panel for some time with no luck. Stepping back outside to take another look, I was reminded of the raised panel just by the elevator door. I stepped close and put my hands on it. Does this look right? The other elevator's panel had a lever of sorts. There's nothing like that here. My heart sank. Did it break off? Shit! Not again. I was beginning to panic when a thought occurred to me. I recalled the stone dagger I'd practiced so hard to perfect. Maybe I don't need the original lever. I just need something that's the same shape. If I return to the other elevator and study its lever, I might be able to make a copy that works. Quickly, I pulled out a scrap of paper and charcoal stick from my bag and made a sketch of the panel. I noted down the rough dimensions of the indent where the lever was supposed to fit for later. The other elevator is quite a ways up from here. I suppose I'll return to the surface and make a sketch of the lever itself on my way back. I'll perform the archimancy tonight and then return tomorrow to try it. Yes, this will work. We did it. We found an elevator. Now, I'm not sure how well this actually bodes for what's down there, because it seemed like the lower levels were the, slummier levels, and that they were trying to get to the higher levels to escape the famine. So it's possible that whatever is down there is even worse than what's up here, just conditions-wise. I climbed the stairs to the second floor of my home, heart beating out of my chest. I came to the top eager to get to my room, and saw Kanari. He was sitting, slumped against the wall just outside the doorway to his sleeping room. Warm light danced across the floor from the flickering lanterns hanging on the ceiling. He looked tired. His eyes were unfocused, and his head was tilted downwards. He hardly even reacted as I came up. I stood for a moment, expecting him to launch into conversation as he usually did, to tell a story or make fun of someone he'd dealt with that day. But there was nothing. He's quiet again tonight. I shifted my feet uneasily, thinking about what Prava had said. Her desperate pleas. No. I should follow my own advice. I'll leave him alone. That's what he would want, right? I turned, trying to put it out of my head and focus on making the lever. But I'd hardly taken a full step when something stopped me again. It was a heavy feeling in my chest. A feeling that maybe I really wasn't doing enough, like she'd said. Yeah, come on, Aram. Come on, talk to him, please. Maybe I am a bad friend. I slowly turned to face him again. I'm asking because I want to, not because she's forcing me to. Khan, are you doing okay? Something, seeming pulled from a thought, Kanari blinked and turned his head to look at me. Yeah, I'm fine, he said, rather coldly. Why? Already I was cursing myself internally. I shouldn't have. Nothing, you just seem... I stumbled over my words. You look down. So, I thought I'd see if you were, doing all right. Kanari looked at me intently, raising an eyebrow. Oh, he said, the faintest of smiles coming over him. I get it. This is coming from her, right? She sent you to talk to me. Shit. I shook my head emphatically. Shit, that adds up, he continued, almost chuckling. I thought you'd been acting weird lately. I cut him off. No, Khan, I began, forcing as much conviction into my voice as I could manage. Nobody asked me to talk to you. I have no idea what you mean. Kanari's faint smile faded. Seriously? You're gonna lie about it? He asked, sounding offended. What for? We're friends, right? I know it was her, Aram. It's so obvious. Everything stays between us. Just tell me what she asked you to say. I couldn't keep his gaze, so I looked away, shaking my head once more in denial. Kanari let out a long, slow breath. Whatever, he said, looking straight ahead. Do you know what's awful? I'm not even a little bit surprised she would resort to something like this. She has her hands all over me. I can't do anything without a damn lecture. Kanari rested his head on one hand. Let me tell you something, Aram. You know how I am? I'm lazy and rude. I don't take anything seriously. But it's not because I don't care, or it's, below me. Kanari smiled apathetically. It's because I'm just not worth very much. And I know it, too. Whenever I think about doing something, really trying at something, giving it all my effort, I remember that. I remember how little it matters. That out of all the things people do on this island every day that matter, I make pottery. My very best is just an afterthought. It's something you look at once, passing by, and forget the second it leaves your sight. That's why I won't ever amount to anything more than I am right now. They made quite sure of that when they put me in the kiln. You get it, right? I'm beyond fixing. Prava would be a whole lot happier if she'd just steer clear of me. I've always thought that. So why don't you go tell her? I opened my mouth, and the first thing that came to mind was an elevator. I pictured hundreds of windows and doors. The sound of metal echoing for miles as ancestors stalked me endlessly in the darkness. I pictured humans that lived long ago, their struggles and suffering. Piles of bodies just out of my sight. The thought that I might round a corner and find a room full of corpses, missing bodies, a world without hunger, fields of grass that stretched out of sight without a coastline. Oh God, I'm such a fool. There's absolutely nothing. Nothing I could possibly say that would offer even a hint of comfort to anyone on the island. Sachita is wrong. Prava is wrong. This is between her and Kanari. They'll sort it out, because I can't. I'll find some other way to keep Prava quiet. I don't have time to interfere, because my obligation is the most important of all. He was almost there. He was almost there. But he's balking at the last minute, and I think there's going to be disastrous consequences. Yes. Without me, the settlement won't survive. Without me, nothing else matters. And we are saving and continuing. I guess we're coming up on time here, but let me try and get through this section here. Try and get to a save point. Once, she'd taken me to the beach. Yes, we watched the waves together. My mother and I. The girl tried to remember why. Why? She hadn't asked for it. No, it was... Oh yes, she'd memorized all the names of the bones in the hand. That's what it was. Her mother had picked her up and spun her around in the air. Oh, I love you, Prava, she'd said. I love you more than anything in the world. It had been her mother's idea. They had walked along the shoreline. The roar of crashing waves filled the air, punctuated softly by the sound of the sand crunching under her feet. Eventually, her mother found a place to sit. She picked the girl up and set her down in her lap. And for that moment, as she held the girl, arm around her chest, watching the sunlight dance across the water toward the horizon, she didn't have a single doubt about why she was born. Why she needed to take medicine as her obligation. None. It was all for that. Are you almost done? Kanari was resting his head on his hand, leaning against the table to the girl's left. Aram and Sachi are waiting for us. The girl shook her head, scratching away at the papers lying on her own. No, she said resolutely. I need to take down the rest of the diagrams. If I don't do it now, I won't memorize them. Kanari nodded slowly. Prava, he began. Do you really like it? Medicine. The girl kept writing, eyes down. Do I have to? Kanari went quiet for a moment, thinking about his reply. No, I guess not. He chuckled. Why put so much into it then? You must stay late every day. There was a pause in the girl's writing. Her hand wavered, but she quickly continued. There's someone that I... She trailed off. It means a lot to her. I want to make her happy. Kanari nodded, staring off into space. After a moment, the girl spoke again. Don't you have a reason like that? If they say you're unfit, and you have to break your obligation, wouldn't you be... The girl realized she'd been drawing the same line again and again. Upset? Kanari smiled. Well, yeah, of course. But I'd be upset because I'd really like to become a wound bearer. Maybe it doesn't seem that way, but I really do like it. It's the one thing I'm good at. I like the idea of keeping people safe. The girl stopped writing. She looked down at the page before her, studying the many symbols and diagrams. It's your mom, right? The girl was embarrassed at how easily he'd guessed. You know, Prav, I don't think you should push yourself to do something only because you owe it to somebody else. Your mom, she loves you. She would love you even if you weren't cut out to be a nurse. Even if they deemed you unfit. Yes, the girl thought. Yes, that must be true. Even if I can't become a nurse. Keeping people safe, then shooting them and sprinkling crack over them before you leave. I mean, that's not in the charter of the wound bearers, but they don't... Do we have crack? I don't even know if we have crack. I don't know. What do we have? We've got white powder. That counts, right? Hello, Dids. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. 20 months. Wowee. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Dids. How are you doing today? Is the day treating you well? We are slowly but surely making our way through the cavernous megastructure. There's probably some kinds of eugenics thing going on. Or at least there was. And now we're like partially a wizard. We've started learning archimancy, making pronouns being woke. Oh, that's bad. You should stop that. Yeah, no, that's definitely... It definitely came to a stop on its own. At some point in the past, we merely found some records of it. Even if I can't become a nurse, even if I don't want to, she would... Later that day, as she had every day as of late, the girl made a list. A list of all the mistakes she'd made. Simply tracking wasted time wasn't enough anymore. The girl knew she had to pay. For each and every one. For each mistake. She took out a stone, one she'd found lying in the courtyard. The edge was sharp like a knife. It had been perfect. She gripped the stone tight and made small cuts along her upper arm. If it didn't draw blood, she did it in the same place. Twice, 3 times. Shoot them with lightning and sprinkle magic crack on them. We're actually just... We're doing the most fighter form of magic, which is conjuring a knife and stabbing someone. That's all we're doing. But because of the mechanics of how the conjuring system works, any object that is newly conjured is way stronger than an object that was conjured in the past. And its durability decays pretty significantly. So we're kind of just like ad hoc in the moment conjuring knives and stabbing enemies with them. And then the knives dissipate again. As many as it took. She'd broken a needle stitching, and so she made a cut. She'd been last to answer a question regarding the throat and lungs. She'd known the answer. She knew it. For that, she made 2 cuts. She'd been distracted and forgotten to take down the circulatory diagrams from the day's lecture. So she'd stayed late. She stayed late to do it, yet wasted away the afternoon with him instead. For that, she thought, she deserved 3. So she lifted the stone again, shaking, and held it just above her skin. But something made her hesitate. Just for a moment, she couldn't bring it to her arm. Yes. Whenever she thought of him, she hesitated. Sometime after she'd finished, she stood and leaned against the storage room wall, shaking. Yeah, this is where the content warning comes in, folks. So do mind yourselves. Be careful. She fought simply to stay upright and keep from crying. What would he say? What would he think about her if he knew? Oh, Kanari. In those moments, she imagined another life. She imagined somehow becoming a wound bearer instead, so that she could follow him and be by his side. Yes, maybe. If he was around all the time, maybe then she could put down the stone. Put it down and never pick it back up. Well, that's somewhat grim. Now that Kanari is starting to push her away, I imagine that's going to have disastrous consequences for her mental health, as well as his. I jolted awake, choking. I clutched at my throat, feeling as though I couldn't breathe. Gasping, I sat up. Cow, a bummer. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. I sat up, trying not to panic. I focused on taking long, deep breaths. Slowly, my trembling torso sank forward until I was resting my head between my knees, waiting for it to pass. So then, today will be a hard day. I don't need your help with anything like that. It had been the look in his eyes. So stop asking about it. That look of disgust, of disdain. It was that look that terrified me. He's pulling away. He doesn't want to be around me. I felt my heart race. The feeling of choking returned. If I'm not careful, it will all come back. I'll remember it. That day. Every agonizing second. Disgust? What about Dat Wind? That sounds like the name of an artist, right? Like a record artist. Dat Wind. He's got his own record company. Every agonizing second. Prava, honey, you look sick. Are you feeling okay? I looked up, and Sachita was there. She was sitting by the edge of my sleeping mat. She had one hand tucked under her knees, and the other pressed against my forehead. Her voice was soft and tender, like it so often was. I couldn't bear looking her in the eyes. Yes, I said quietly. I'm fine. I'm sorry if I made you worry, Sachi. Sachita shifted her weight and frowned, moving her hand under my chin. Prava, she said delicately. If there's ever something that's weighing on you, I'll always be there to listen. Just say the word. I'll drop everything I'm doing, just to sit by your side and listen. And if that's something you need my help with, I'll do anything I can do. I tried to focus on what she was saying, but it was like listening to someone speak underwater. Do you know that? That was a question. I nodded, slowly. Sachita ran her hand through my hair gently before resting it on my shoulder. She lingered for a moment, and then stood, dusting off the hem of her dress. I'm sorry. I need to go, Prava. I'll see you tonight, okay? Sachita watched me for a moment before turning and walking toward the stairs. But after a few steps, she stopped and turned to face me once more. Prava, I know it might be something you don't want to talk about, and I respect that, but I worry about you sometimes. I worry that you're carrying around something really heavy. It's so heavy that it's crushing you. It's crushing you and making you hurt. I care about you, Prava. You're like my sister. Just think about what I'm saying, okay? You aren't responsible for shouldering all of it by yourself. She waved and was gone. After some time, I looked down at my hand. Not the good one. The other. I looked at the hideous stumps where my fingers had once been. the horrible mess it now was. I don't recall. Did we see this before? Did this get pointed out to us before? Or did I just not remember this? I didn't know she was missing fingers. I'm not responsible. I almost felt like laughing. She couldn't possibly understand that nothing I could ever do for him would be enough. Nothing I could ever do would make up for it. For what I did to him. Okay. No, they're definitely... Oh, no, I think I might have known that she had, like, some missing fingers, because I think I thought this before, that maybe the two of them were involved in the same accident or incident that led to him having his leg be busted up and to her missing some fingers. So I think I might have seen that before once. The sky had been so beautiful that day, the day it happened. The girl had watched the clouds slowly go by overhead and looked out at the settlement stretched before her, bathed in golden light. From the roof of Lyceum Hall, the small group could see everything. It had been Kanari's idea, of course. She didn't want to be there. It wasn't allowed. She told Kanari over and over, but he just laughed. As he'd taken her hand and pulled her up off the makeshift ladder, thrown so casually against the balcony below, a ladder they'd all helped to make. He'd been smiling, almost giddy. The girl looked to the others, Aram and Sachita sitting against a chimney. She saw just how much they seemed to be enjoying the small act of disobedience. What could she have possibly said? What choice did she have? No. No, stop. Not now. Not today. He hadn't spoken to me yet that day. We stood close in line, waiting for the day's ration. I wasn't hungry. I hadn't eaten the last 2 meals anyway. Or 3? That, and I tried to remember the last time I'd bathed. How many hours I'd slept in the past week. What does it matter? If he's unhappy, if he's suffering, I should be too. Kanari looked around idly, and for a moment he cast his gaze back at me. We met eyes for a brief moment, and I smiled. Kanari's face twisted for a moment, but he managed the faintest of smiles in return. Quickly, he dropped his eyes and looked elsewhere. I'd known it for a long time. How I'd been kidding myself, thinking that somehow, in some way, he was happy here, at the kiln. No. Anyone can tell that he isn't. This is the life that I gave him. I left him with absolutely nothing else. That's why I have to be there for him. I have to care for him. I owe him much more than I could ever give. I tried to keep my thoughts occupied with just that. But whenever I let them stray, I thought about the rooftop, the color the sky had been, and it made me feel sick. It took all that I had not to bend at the waist and lose what little was in my stomach. Thinking about that naive, stupid girl. It was the way she'd simply gone along with it. When Kanari had climbed a windowsill, using it as a step to reach the next rooftop, he wanted her to follow. He wanted to get even higher up. "Prava!" he called, standing by the edge with his hands at his hips. "Come on! You should see the view from up here." He asked her in particular. That's all it was. For that little gesture, the girl shoved her fears aside and followed. Not the Little Jester. That's from the Amazing Digital Circus. That's a different franchise. The Little Jester is not here, as far as I know. There could be a crossover. Hell, there was a crossover with Fortnite. It's possible. reaching for the windowsill. All the while, Aram and Sachita laughed somewhere to her side, engaged in their own conversation. Heights had always made the girl nervous, but Kanari saying her name was all it took. All it took to go against her better judgment. Just for the opportunity to be close to him. Oh, God above. I wanted to scream at myself and tell her to stop. Stop recalling that day under the sky. I bit down hard on my tongue, trying anything I could. Anything I could think to focus on something else. The pain made my hands shake. I blinked and saw that I was painting right over work that I had done the previous day. I realized I didn't recall how long I'd been painting, or what it was I was supposed to be painting. What was I? My heartbeat was a constant throbbing rhythm in my ears, and it blocked everything else out. There was no sound, just my own thoughts. Other apprentices and journeymen would pass by, and I would see them out of the corner of my eye. They drew near, and my pulse accelerated. I was terrified. What do they want? They've come to hurt him. I looked over at Kanari next to me, sitting and painting quietly. I won't let anyone hurt him. I'd do anything, because if I lost him, I don't know what I would do with myself. I felt sick again. Does he hate me? What if he hates me? What if he doesn't want me around? Something caught my eye and pulled me from my thoughts. To my left, Kanari winced, retracting his hand from the vase as if in pain. Without even a moment's hesitation, I spoke. It was like a reflex. If I ever saw that Kanari was troubled, I had to do something immediately. I had to. Kan? Does your hand hurt? Do you need to take a break? I'll cover for you if... I knew I'd made a mistake before I'd even finished speaking. I saw Kanari's face twist in frustration, his eyes cold and distant. He put his hand in his lap. No, Prava, he spat. Why don't you stop looking at me and pay attention to your half? I saw you paint over the trim. You'll ruin it. Yeah, no, he's just being a dick now. They're both in a really bad spot. Probably because of the famine. The famine is not helping. Where Kanari was standing hadn't been high enough, evidently. He wanted to take her higher and higher, to the very top of the building, where the view was like nothing else on the island. The girl followed, taking his hand again and again, spurred on by his laugh, his smile. It hadn't occurred to the girl just how high up they'd climbed. But at the base of the bell tower, at last, the base of the bell tower came into sight. It's because of that day, Kanari and I, neither of us are fully alive. They're not a fam of the Fanon. I'm not sure whether to interpret that as a typo or if you're trying to do a pun. You know what? I'll just accept it. Yeah, they're not a fan of the Fanon. I don't think any of us are. We're missing something, each. We're both incomplete. The crowd of hungry, weary apprentices filled around us as we stood in the street. I faced him, hands clasped at my waist, trying to think of something I could say. But the din of voices, filling the late evening air with conversation. I personally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a famine. Really? Hmm. I think I might know what you're referencing there, but that, if I'm right, then that's quite a ways back. The fact that against such a wall of noise, still there was silence between us. It spoke every word. So instead, I lifted a hand and waved, smiling with everything I could. Kanari's eyes darted around, as if he were searching for somewhere to look that wasn't my face. At last he settled on staring at my feet, and that was all. He turned and walked off, disappearing into the crowd. And just before he was gone from sight, he waved over his shoulder. As I stood, watching him leave, I knew that I was the girl on the roof all over again. That girl who'd climbed ahead of Kanari, standing proudly on the ledge just above him. She'd been so excited. Her nerves had disappeared. Yes, the roles had been reversed, and now it was her turn, for once, to extend a hand to him. Oh, I think I see where this is going. I'm gonna say it out loud just so that I can be right. Just so I can state for the record what I think is happening here. She's gonna drop him, and he's gonna get his leg crushed in the fall. And she is going to chop off 2 of her own fingers as self-punishment for it. I think that's what's going to happen. What, that's crazy? Hey, maybe I'm wrong. And so he took it, taking 1 foot off a windowsill below. The girl leaned in, his weight heavier than anticipated. To balance herself, she'd taken a step backward onto a loose brick. And that was all it took. Yeah. A stumble, a loss of footing. For just an instant. That was all it took for the girl to release her grip. Yes, the sky was so beautiful. So beautiful. The day she looked to her hand, now empty, and then over the edge, watching plummet through the air the boy who had just been holding it. Prank gone wrong? Quite so. Maybe prank or just mischief play gone wrong. You finished it then? Tala looked at me inquisitively. I nodded, reaching under my menage, producing a long stone device. I held out the finished lever for Tala to see. I finished most of it the day before yesterday, I said. It's made from stone, but that's the best I can really do at the moment. I think the original was made from the same metal as the other, but the shape is pretty close, I think. I'm hoping the material doesn't matter. Tala nodded approvingly. All right, we're back in Aram's shoes. We keep getting these flash sideways to Prava and Kanari. We don't get much of Sachita's story, which is very interesting. It makes me think that that's going to be a big story moment at some point. That the tension between Kanari and Prava is building to something that's going to be very important later on. Listen, I said, sliding closer. This is the closest I've ever been to something real. If this elevator works, I might finally discover where the people went. The better world. All of it, Tala. I stood, my heart pounding. Tonight, everything could change. Tala spoke up. Aram, don't you... Aram! Tala! Startled by the sudden shout, I whipped my head around and was shocked to see one of the other 2 sentries on duty standing in the doorway. His chest was rising and falling rapidly, as if he had been running, and his expression was grim. I couldn't believe it. Neither of the other 2 sentries had ever come this close, let alone stepped inside. Should have played the Undertale opening when he fell. that might have been a bit too flippant for the moment. I have a bad feeling that something is going down in town, and that we are needed. Oh. His eyes darted about rapidly, this clearly being his first time seeing what lay beyond the door. He seemed terrified by the sight of it all, but quickly composed himself and continued speaking in a tense, urgent manner. "You two, come right away. We've all been ordered to abandon our posts. Everyone. All the wound bearers are supposed to come and help." Tala and I exchanged worried glances. "What is it?" Tala asked. The sentry looked over his shoulder nervously. "It's the kiln. It's on fire." "Well, that'll motivate us." There was shouting, screaming, and the sound of footsteps rushing about. I smelled the smoke as we ran through the streets, chests heaving. And rounding a corner, I saw the flames. Damn, aren't these stone buildings? How did this happen? Can you light... I mean, well, I guess none of the stone is on fire. Maybe there's just a bunch of charcoal exploded all over the place? That's the only way I could see this happening. The kiln was engulfed in a roaring blaze like none I'd ever seen. It illuminated the dark street like 1,000 lamps, and I felt the heat on my face as if I were sitting next to a hearth. All around, wound bearers ran to and fro, with vases of water attempting to extinguish it. Several of the oldest wound bearers ran in and out to salvage what they possibly could, tossing items haphazardly into the street. Tala and I stood frozen, watching the display in horror. Oh God. Dread came over me as I began desperately searching for anyone I recognized. Where's Qunari? Where's Prava? I spotted my father shouting orders to a group of wound bearers nearby. Tala gave me a severe look, ran off to help without a single word. Shaking myself off, I began to follow, realizing putting it out came before anything else. I took a step and then stopped dead in my tracks. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure. A figure kneeling alone in the middle of the street, staring at the blaze with wide, terrified eyes. One hand hung limp at his side, and the other clutched a cane tightly. Qunari. Spinning on my heels, I ran to him. Coming close, Qunari slowly turned to look at me. His face was twisted and pale. And before I could say anything, he began muttering. It was just a joke. It was supposed to be a prank. Sorry, what was that about a prank gone wrong, Dids? You manifested it. It's in existence now. And now everything's on fire. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean for... Between his hoarse whispering and stammer, I could barely make sense of what he was saying. Just then, there was a swell of voices nearby. It sounded like shouting and arguing. I swung my head around and saw a group of people rapidly approaching Qunari and I. You may be prophetic. Have you considered using these powers for good? Like, predicting the lottery numbers. This might be your day. They were kiln workers, spearheaded by an older man with a furious expression, the kiln master. They stopped short, and I found myself standing between the group and Qunari. That's him, master, the cripple, one shouted, pointing an accusatory finger. I'm telling you, I saw him. The kiln master looked at Qunari behind me with scorn. Another chimed in, pushing forward angrily. I saw him too. That bastard snuck back in after hours. He must have done something. A third voice, more vicious than the last, cut through the commotion. There's no doubt, Master. I looked and saw that it was the very same apprentice who'd struck Qunari weeks ago. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. No, you haven't used it? Well, you never know. You never know. He pointed at Qunari, furiously. It was the cripple. You already know, Master. He's done nothing but cause problems for us year after year. It's little wonder this was his fault, too. There's no way. It couldn't have been. That was whether I would use it for good? Oh, okay. Well, have you considered using it for further evil? Like, instead of guessing the lottery numbers, guessing the correct Kalshi predictions. I think that's probably the evil version of the lottery. I mean, the lottery is already pretty evil. I plead the fifth? Okay, fine. Nothing in chat can be used as evidence. Couldn't have been. I need to protect him. Vouch for him. This isn't something he would ever do as a joke. I opened my mouth, ready to deny it. But before I could, Qunari spoke up. His voice sounded so frail, barely more than a whisper. It was supposed to be funny. Supposed to be harmless. He gestured at the apprentice weakly. I took your apron and a few other things. Was it funny? That is the question of the hour. I'm betting most people would say no. In fact, it seems even Qunari would say no. It seems he might have pranked a little too close to the sun. I took your apron and a few other things. I hid them. I guess I swallowed hard. I put something near one of the pottery ovens that wasn't cool yet. And they went up. Immediately, the shouting began. We've all been there. We've all accidentally started a fire by stealing somebody's clothes and hiding them. The apprentices hurled insults. Vile insults. What were you thinking? You fucking idiot. You've ruined everything. Do you know how much damage you've caused? You're a waste of meals. From the kiln master came the worst of it. Why am I not surprised? You've been nothing but a drain on the settlement for your entire meaningless apprenticeship. Your life is not worth the same as the rest of us, boy. The children of sunlight have no need for a worthless thing such as yourself. And all the while, as the flames roared and scathing, biting voices echoed throughout the street, Qunari sat, head hung low, and took it. He just sat, perfectly still. Eventually, the kiln master looked to me with a wild and furious expression. You there, wound-bearer, take the cripple into custody. We have every reason to believe this fool maliciously started the fire. Me. Even having heard the confession from his lips, I still couldn't believe it. How can they... with so little evidence? I felt for the weapon at my side, my hands trembling. No, they can't. What will I do? My gut was telling me one thing. Fight. Fight anything that stands in my way and win. I tightened my hand around the hilt of my blade. But then, there was a voice screaming. Qunari! It was a woman's voice. In a blur of motion, Prava came running from the crowd. Okay, so she's alive, but... she may make this worse. Leaping in between the group and Qunari, pushing me out of the way forcefully. Immediately, she looked to the kiln master. Please, she pleaded. Please reconsider. Her voice was shaking, raw, and hoarse. Please. It wasn't his fault. It couldn't have been. It couldn't have. Suddenly there came another voice from behind, no more than a whisper. Prava. Please, stop. I'm begging you, not now. Don't get involved. It was Kanari. Prava didn't hear. He would never do something like this, she cried, almost on the verge of tears. You have to understand. Please. Kanari spoke again, louder this time. Prava, stop. Now. Still, Prava continued. Her desperate, hysterical cries pierced the night air as Prava wailed. All the while, Kanari's voice grew louder, over and over again. Stop. Please. Building in intensity, it grew like a smoldering coal, cast upon a bed of dry grass. Prava! Tinged with anger, his voice swelled like the very flames smoldering in the kiln. And still as his pleading voice went unheard by Prava, begging and crying for forgiveness. At last, something broke. Kanari forced himself to his feet, striking his cane violently against the cinder brick pavement. The sound reverberated throughout the street, and Kanari screamed, "Will you fucking stop this already?" Immediately, Prava fell silent. She turned, slowly, eyes wide to look at Kanari. His chest heaved, and he wiped his mouth. Why can't you understand? Why can't you see? You don't owe me anything. No debt. Nothing at all. Why can't you see that I don't want you around? I don't need you to carry my things, to hold my arm while we walk, to fight my battles. Don't you know how much I hate being around you? I can't stand to look at you, knowing how much life you've thrown away tending to me, how much life you've squandered. It's miserable, and I can't bear to watch it continue for another goddamn day. At last, Kanari was out of breath. The strain on his voice, now hoarse from shouting, forced him into a coughing fit. The silence that followed was deafening. At first, Prava stood motionless, completely still, but then her hands were shaking. Her short breaths became choked, and at last she let out a small, quiet whimper. "But," she squeaked out, "I have your notebook. You gave it to me." Aram. I looked up and saw that my father... Oh, sorry, that was Aram. I looked up and saw that my father was standing just beside me. It seemed he had been watching now for some time. He was covered in soot and ash. His face was grim, and he spoke a simple order. "Perform your obligation. You know that it must be done." For the space of a long breath, I simply froze, staring at him, at Prava, tears streaking her cheeks, and at Kanari, head hung low. But at last, on unsteady feet, I approached Kanari and put a hand on his shoulder. She's going to spill the beans. She is unstable right now. She has nothing left to lose. She is going to spill the beans that we have been in the well to try and protect Kanari. The situation has now forced us between her and Kanari, and I think in her desperation, she's going to spill the beans. Slowly, I turned him from the group and began to lead him away into the night. Kanari didn't say a word. He didn't struggle. He simply went along with me quietly, as I led him in the direction of the temple where he was to be held and tried for his crime. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not immediately, at least. We are loading. There we go. It took 2 long hours, but at last, the great kiln fire was finally snuffed out. The fire was prevented from spreading to other buildings, yes, but the kiln could not be saved. As the heat expanded and cracked the brick foundations, melting away the ancient mortar holding them together. The building had finally collapsed into a pile of rubble and smoke. As for the many things left inside, tools, pottery wheels, paints, and many personal effects, all of those things, and the unspoken words that had for years hung in the air around them, mixing with clay dust, all of those things were burned to ash. I need to save and quit because it looks like we are nearing almost an hour after I intended to end. So we're going to save and quit. Hopefully that saves. Yes, arms housing. I think that's where that will take us. Oh boy, a lot of story happening, a lot of reading. We have discovered an elevator. We've been practicing archimancy. The kiln caught fire and tensions are coming to a head. Oh boy. It certainly feels like we're approaching a climax. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd be able to finish this next time. It sort of feels like, narratively, like at least the Prava Canary storyline is coming to a head. But I still don't know what's the deal with the people that come from the well. It feels like there's still a lot to explore on that front. Yeah, well, in any case, we'll be doing this again next week, so we're gonna find out. All right, let's see. Yeah, so much drama. the most dramatic stream of this game so far I think we've had. I think to find someone to raid. You know what? Let's do Kixie. It's been too long, I think, since we raided Kixie, so that's going to be our raid target. Okay, I'm going to get the raid messages out. You can select any and all messages that you like. I'm going to pick this one at the bottom. We're going to get the actual raid going. Call me Kixie. Once again, just double checking my punctuation, or my capitalization there. And ba-bam. All right. Thank you all for joining me for another episode of A Song of Sunlight. A truly a painful, dramatic, and affecting episode with a lot of things being revealed. Some about the mystery of the world, and some about the mystery of the human heart, if you'll permit me to use language like that. We're going to be continuing this once again next week. No hiatus this time, knock on wood, provided everything goes smoothly. Same time, 1 p.m. EST on Saturday. I hope to see you there. If not, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, stay true to yourselves, everyone.